This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Welcome aboard. Yes, sir. It is a Tuesday. We are ready to rock and roll. We get closer and closer to the NFL opener on Thursday and closer to the Miami Dolphins season opener. Can't wait for that. It's almost like we've got 2 more weeks for the real Canes opener, right? Because game 3 is like when the season starts. Well, we'll go through this week in Southern Miss, but you're kind of expecting it to, kind of be – it's like 2 preseason games are going on right now with the Canes. And then, like, the real serious interest starts in week 3. Well, same thing with the Dolphins. We went through training camp. We went through the preseason. We've gone through the dead week, right? And now we're in game week, and we cannot wait to get there on Sunday to take on the Patriots. I mean, listen, I know we're getting treated to a really sweet Thursday night game, plus Ozzy Osbourne at halftime, all that good stuff. I wonder if there's somewhere where I can catch the whole performance of halftime for Ozzy. Anyway, so just, awesome game on Thursday, but I just want to fast track to Sunday, man. I really want to fast track to Sunday. I cannot wait, but it's nice to see the chat board moving already. Folks are getting pumped up. I see Steve Chapman is in first and Gus 1388 and the folks are lining up. I love it. Let's see. What else do we have here? See Lisa Rose in there. Lenny Pena is in there. 6193. All right, a bunch of folks already lining up on the chat board, and we love that. Dolphins, by the way, are favored by 3 in this game. I think it was 2.5, and now it's gone up to 3. So Dolphins right now looking like Vegas has more confidence in them. Now, remember, home teams automatically kind of get the 3 when they're even. That's kind of what it looks like. So at least they're giving Miami the edge there, and they're giving them some respect. And, let's get into it right now. The Dolphins deserve some respect. Yeah, I said it. The Dolphins deserve some respect. Why? Well, Tua's beaten the Patriots 3 straight times. I mean, it's we haven't had a lot of quarterbacks here beat Belichick 3 straight times. We haven't had a lot of quarterbacks that go undefeated against Belichick, and Tua is undefeated against Belichick. Not that Brian Flores' dumbass actually figured that out, because he was trying to win games with jabroni brisket. I mean, give me a break. So Dolphins are favored by 3. Over and under is 46.5. Tua's 3-0 against the Patriots. And a nugget, by the way, brought in by my buddy Mike Reese out in Boston. Dolphins now have won 3 in a row against the Patriots. Belichick has never lost 4 in a row since being named the Patriots coach in 2000. So there's a chance that they could lose 4 in a row to the Dolphins, and that Tua can also go 4-0 against Belichick. I'm just saying. Because, see, now we're really getting into the nitty-gritty. Because Belichick had to come here early because he's not only trying to spy, but maybe he's trying to break into Tua's home. Maybe he's trying to, I don't know, do something to his food or something. So he feels kind of queasy, kind of Joe Philbin before the game or something. Belichick has realized that Tua is his kryptonite. And for all you idiots out there that hate Tua or don't like him or don't believe in him or disbelievers or whatever you want to call yourselves, you have the ultimate Belichick weapon right there, Tua. Tua Tagovailoa. Guess what? Belichick is his bitch. Belichick is so nervous about Tua that he comes down early. That's amazing. That's really what it's all about. He's trying to get whatever angle he can. People are talking about adjusting to the heat. No. The guy's shitting bricks. Tua owns his ass. He's never had that. He's never had anybody owning him. Tua owns his ass. Tua's 3-0. Belichick can't sleep at night thinking about Tua, dreaming about Tua, nightmares about Tua. Go, well, wait a minute. How's this dude 3-0? I'm the GOAT. Nobody goes 4-0 against me. I better go earlier in the week to get prepared. Tua has Bill Belichick, the GOAT, nervous. How do you like them apples? Everybody thinking about heat and all. No, dude. It's Tua. You got the haters on ESPN. You got the haters on CBS. You got the haters on NBC. You got the haters on Pro Football Network. You got the haters on the NFL Network. You got Dolphin fans that are haters of Tua. And little did you all know that what you needed to put Belichick away was Tua. That's it. This is why the fortunes of the Dolphins are going to turn around. All you Tua haters, you're all going to look so silly because not only is he going to ball, okay, because he's going to ball this year, he's going to kick some ass, but then when he owns Belichick 2 more times this year, and you turn around and say, well, wait a minute, dude, Tua's 5-0 against Belichick. Maybe, just maybe, we can win all those haters over again. But remember, haters, we're putting the plant of our feet right in your face as you try to get on the bandwagon. Now, you will become believers of Tua. You will understand that he is the kryptonite of Belichick. But after you have realized all of that, and all of a sudden you want to get on the bandwagon, Lisa Rose is going to plant her foot right in your face and kick your ass right off the bandwagon. 6193 is going to kick your ass off the bandwagon. NorCal is going to, he's going to do like 87 push-ups, then kick your ass off the bandwagon. Big E is going to kick your ass off the bandwagon. Dolph Freaky is going to hit you with that big-ass thing she's got hanging from her neck, like Flava Flav. She's going to knock your ass off and knock you right off the damn bandwagon. You're not allowed. Because you didn't realize we've got the kryptonite. Tua. Belichick is so freaking nervous, he's coming earlier. He's going to try and spy on the place. He's going to try to poison Tua. He's going to try to get Tua stuck in a traffic jam. He's going to do whatever he can to make sure Tua doesn't get to that stadium. I say police escort for Tua. I want copters. I want cops. I want everything around Tua. Make sure he gets that stadium. Belichick. You know Belichick's going to be in the shitter the entire time leading up to kickoff. In fact, I think he's in the shitter right now. That's how much Tua's got him nervous. 3-0. 3-0. And McDaniel knows this. Why do you think he embraced the kryptonite? You idiots out there, you don't believe in Tua? You didn't embrace the kryptonite. Brian Flores, the only quarterback he had with a winning record was the kryptonite, and he didn't understand it. Didn't embrace it. What was it? Oh, I see. Brian Flores didn't enjoy that Tua kept beating his old boss. That's how much Brian Flores was scheming against Tua. First game, hey, Tua, we're going to start you against the Rams. That's how much we love you. See, you see everything about Brian Flores, there's some ulterior motive. Hey, Jesse, why don't you block his blind side? Now he took Jesse to Pittsburgh. Double agent. I'm telling you, Jesse Davis, no. I think he got paid to get Tua injured. Telling you. So Tua is the kryptonite, and Belichick is nervous as hell. That's why he's here coming early. That's why. He knows. He knows what's coming. And to make matters worse, Mike McDaniel embraced the kryptonite, unlike some of you idiots. Some of us, of course, embrace the kryptonite. We're behind Tua. We are Tua-non. But here's the best part. Mike McDaniel understood the power of Tua, the control Tua has over Belichick. So what does he do? He goes and acquires Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill in 4 games against any opponent has more yards against the Patriots than anybody else. Ha! Kryptonite adds power. How do you like that? McDaniel understands. He's got the kryptonite in Tua. He goes and gets Tyreek. Now it's a double whammy. He goes, I already got the quarterback that owns Belichick. I already got the quarterback that says, hey, Bill, you're my bitch. Let me add Tyreek Hill to the mix. 403 yards in 4 games. That sounds like 100 yards a game. So you want to know why he's coming early? He's coming for the kryptonite. He's worried. He's nervous. Tua's got the kryptonite. Crushing them Patriots and Belichick. By the way, if you see a truck of kaopectate by the stadium, it's Belichick's. Okay? Wherever you see a kaopectate truck, that's where Belichick is at. Hotel, practice facility, stadium, all of that. You will see the kaopectate truck all over the place following Bill Belichick. Why do you think he's got such a shit face? Have you ever had a swig of kaopectate? That's the Belichick face. In fact, back in the day, the bitter beer face is really a Bill Belichick face. They just didn't want to insult the man, but really when they came up with the beer, they go, well, you know Belichick's face? That's what happens when you drink bad beer. And that's it right there. Kaopectate, Belichick face. Bad beer, Belichick face. Losing to Tua, Belichick face. The kryptonite is here. Get on board. All right, you want to get in on the Welt and Rheum text line, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. You can basically say that Tua has the edge, is what he has. He has the edge over Belichick. That's it. That's what it's all about, getting the edge. And you can get the edge too. Order myedgedrink.com. What the hell is wrong with you? Have you tried the greatest energy drink on the planet? The one with zero aftertaste, the one that's delicious, the one that is smooth, the one that only has 78 calories, the one you cannot get in stores. You got to get it online at myedgedrink.com and use our code Big O. You will get 10% off. And use it as an elixir to mix it in with vodka. Oh, my favorite. You can do it with a little rum. You can mix it up with all different things. But I'm telling you, the vodka, woo, doggy. I mix it up with my Grey Goose, and it is awesome. Go to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O. Get yourself some edge. Get it for the Dolphin games. Get pumped up and watch the kryptonite crush Belichick on Sunday. It's going to be fun. That kale pectate face of his. Belichick is losing his edge now that Brady is gone. Damn right. He can't. He doesn't even know where to get edge energy drink. That's how bad things are for Bill Belichick. And I don't know if we should share any edge energy drink with him anyways. NorCal says, the wagon is pulling up to the last station. Get ready, get on board. It won't be stopping till Arizona. Enjoy the season, Big O crew. Now, NorCal, the bandwagon's already going. We're not letting anybody else on. You were either on before. You don't get on after the fact. You don't get on after he beats Belichick 2 more times this year. You don't get on after they win 11, 12 games and they're cruising in the playoff. No. You're not allowed on. You're not allowed on the bandwagon. You're not getting on. I'm sorry. That's it. You didn't believe, you don't get to enjoy the ride with the rest of us that saw it from the get-go. There's Nico Jones. Belichick is miserable. Insert curse word here. And his misery infects his assistants that flees his nest. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. There we go. Oh, now I got it off. Okay. My bad. What'd you put there, Eric? Hot dog vendor at corner trying to defend Tyreek, and soda vendor at corner versus Waddle is probably not going to go well for the Patriots on Sunday. No. That's why I'm telling you, the bastard's trying to poison Tua. He's trying to spy on this, put some cameras in the stadium. So I came early. Has nothing to do with the weather. Nothing whatsoever to do with the weather. It's all about cheating. We know where Bill comes from. Ray says, Big O, I know you're picking the Finns to win. What is your score prediction? Well, we'll get to that later on in the week, bro. Let's not just give away the entire house, Let's not constantly, give away the milk to everybody like Larsa Pippen. Hey, listen, we got to be selective here. We got to stretch things out a little bit. Keep people in suspense. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, withhold some stuff. So we will wait till later on in the week to do that kind of prediction. We gave you a seasonal prediction yesterday, but the game prediction itself, you gotta wait for later in the week, man. Gotta leave some stuff for, some you gotta hide some stuff in the curtain, You can't be like a Britney Spears Instagram that you leave nothing for the imagination anymore. It's all there. And if you don't follow Britney Spears on Instagram, then you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. And if you don't follow Larsa Pippen's dating habits, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. See, in this show, you must be up with pop culture at the same time. This is why Omar Kelly missed out on everything that we said on this show, because the man was just. I've never seen anybody lack more pop culture education. I was going to say pop culture than Omar Kelly. Adam says Peter King's prediction for Miami is garbage. I used to respect him, but Miami is better than 9 wins. Yes, they'll be better than 9 wins. I agree. I think what he's doing is giving respect to all the other teams that also improved in the AFC, and so he thinks that they're still playing catch up with all of that. So we will get it done. Big O, you go in a week one. I can't go to any games. I do pre and post, my brother. So we are on right up to kickoff, and we are on right when the game ends. So we are not going to any games this year. We will watch all of them on television. Plus, it's better for me to watch them on television because I can take notes and I can be better prepared. If you're at the game, you're talking to people, whatever. You got so many things going on that it's not the same way. So I can't do the same kind of show post-game wise if I'm hanging out in the stadium with fans and friends and watching the game and eating shit. I literally have to work. So when I watch the pre and post, when I'm watching the game for a post, I'm actually watching the game and taking notes and doing all that stuff. So when I was at Sports Grill last year, I had my iPad on, and that's where I could watch all the games, and I can rewind and rewatch a play if I felt like it and all that, because I have to do that. I can't. You really cannot go to a game and do justice of a post-game show. It'll be a half-ass post-game show. Belichick is dressing up in his burglar clothes right now, tools in hand, to get into Hard Rock. Yeah, the bastard won't even wait till nighttime. Anything less than 3 TDs blowout will be shocking to me. Miami 34, Pats 0. I got money on DraftKings. That's why Miami easily covers the spread. Nelson says, Orlando, good morning, my brother. I've heard you say no Byron Jones the first 2 games shouldn't be a problem, but realistically, you can't cover 0 blitz or the Ravens without him. I've said the Dolphins feel like it's no problem, not me. That says it's no problem. The Dolphins continue to say it's no problem on the offensive line or on quarterback at depth. Here's what I say to the Ravens thing. I forgot. Lamar Jackson's accurate. Lamar Jackson's a big threat with his arm. If you're pressuring him and he's got to make a quick decision, guess what? You roll the safety over and leave X alone. And last time I checked, what the hell is a Ravens wide receiving core? Would you like to go over it, Nelson? Because I'm pretty sure it's unimpressive. Let me look at it. Here, I'm just going to go off my memory. If I'm correct, I don't believe they have much of a receiving core overall. Let's see here. Pull up the depth chart of the Baltimore Ravens. So, 1, it's not a very good receiving core, and I'll read you the receiving core right now. So, you're not talking about incredible receivers that are going to, Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, and James Prochet. I'm supposed to get nervous about that? So, you don't have great receivers. And you don't have a great passer. And you've got to make a quick decision or they're going to get your ass on a 0 blitz. I disagree with you on that one, Nelson. I only see it as a problem, big problem, with the Bills, obviously, and with the Bengals. Because they have receiving cores and they have quarterbacks, passers. And New England doesn't have a receiving core, doesn't really scare me overall, and neither does the Ravens. So I disagree with you 1,000% on that one. I have zero fear of those two games. Miami plays their game. They should be fine against both opponents. Stack the box, stop the run, force Lamar to beat you with your arm, and you'll win 90% of the time. Once in a while, he'll get lucky because he's a great athlete, and athletes every once in a while come in hot, and they make a couple of throws. So there's a chance, sure, but it's rare because he's not a good passer. He's not a consistent passer. So I completely disagree with you on that one. I'm not impressed with the receiving core, and I'm never been impressed with Lamar Jackson, the quarterback. The running quarterback, well, that's a whole different ballgame. That's a freak. But the passer, nah. Zero concerns about that one. I think we're past that now. You just can't let them run over you. That's the only way they lose to the Ravens. If they allow the running game to take off, then, yeah, it'll be a long day for the Dolphins. But if they control the running game and force Lamar to beat you with his arm, disagree. Orlando, all I'm saying is you cannot execute the same game plan that worked brilliantly last year against him. All I'm saying is, yes, you can. There is no Hollywood Brown. My point is you can play that game plan because there's no fear of that wide receiving core. There's nobody proven there that scares the shit out of you, dude. So I disagree with you. Yes, you can run the exact same game plan. Have the safety cheat up and have the free safety cheat over a little bit. That's it. You'll be fine. I'm not that worried about that game. As long as you stop the run and you force Lamar to try to beat you with his arm, 90% of the time that game's a win for you. Very few times he'll come in hot and he'll hit. It'll happen every once in a while because athletes are athletes. Cam Newton can't hit the side of a barn, but once in a while he'll come in a game where he'll complete a couple passes that you're like, well, okay, you got to give him some props. You know, once in a while, Tim Tebow will hit Demaryius Thomas on a crossing route, and you'll get lucky. Doesn't make him a great passer, but he's an athlete. And, now Lamar is much better than Tebow, obviously. Even Cam Newton's much better than Tebow. But what I'm saying is athletes are athletes. They will freak you out. They will do things sometimes that's what they do. That's why they're great athletes. RedRecover.com will take care of the athletes. We'll take care of the average person like you and me. And if you're dealing with an old injury, you're dealing with a recent surgery, folks, red light therapy is absolutely awesome. I see it with my wife with her knees. Sean Stanley uses it. He's got bone on one of his knees from jumping out of planes back when he was in the Army. Marines. He was in the Marines, jumping out of planes. That might mess up your knee jumping out of planes. Yeah, it might be kind of a tough fall. I can see that. So Red Recover, red light therapy, whether it's your ankles, your knees, shoulders, elbows, maybe you got some tennis elbow. Hey, listen, some people use Red Recover, red light therapy before and after workouts to optimize their workouts. So it treats those areas. It gets the blood flowing, so you have a better performance in a game, in a workout, whatever. And then after, the soreness that comes with it, that also helps treat that soreness so you can recover faster and move on and maybe feel a little bit better the next day too. Because as you know, as we get older, boy, those workouts wear out on you, man. Check out the video blogs at redrecover.com. Hayden Hurst, former first-round pick and tight end with the Bengals, he uses it before and after his workouts, folks. Go to Red Recover. I use it. I have the hat that I use to grow my hair. The options are endless. If you just had a recent surgery and you've got a scar and you're afraid that scar may leave a scar permanently, well, guess what? Red light therapy might help you actually make that scar disappear. and you'll heal almost completely clean sometimes. It's really impressive. Go check out the before and after pictures. Some of our videos, go on the website. It'll freak you out. It's great for the kids. It's great for the adults. Why? Because it's all natural. There are no side effects. Red light therapy has been around for a while. Go to redrecover.com, use our code Big O, and you will get 10% off. redrecover.com. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of deportes? Cameron Wolfe, by the way, is going to join us now at 10:30. We're going to have Manny Navarro at 11:30, and Alan Poopart will join us at 12:15. Joe Shad will join us on Friday, and he'll join us post-game on Sunday. All right? So for those of you that have been asking about Joe Shad, I told you he would start this week. He'll start later on in the week on Friday and on Sunday for post-game. So we'll get his thoughts after the game is over, and we'll talk to Joe Shad also in that one. Let's see, what else do we have? Big O, any concerns about our run D? Yes. Big time. Yeah. That's my main concern with the defense. Show me that you can consistently stop the run and you can slow it down. Yes. I got to see what that linebacking core looks like, how they perform. I need Raekwon Davis. I need to see him have a monster year from beginning to end. He needs to be the ultimate disruptor and difference maker. It's time for Raekwon Davis to really break out. I thought he had some moments last year. I thought he played solid when he came back. But he's got to take that next step. So, yes, run defense is something that we need to see improve in a big-time way. What else do we have here? Big O, if the opportunity arose, would you sign Lamar to a long-term deal this offseason if Tua flops this year? Brady, do you listen to this show at all? Seriously, do you listen to the show? Do you? Be honest now. Or do you just listen to a segment that you download or something? Where have I ever told you that I consider Lamar Jackson a good quarterback? What indications have I ever given anybody that I believe in Lamar Jackson as a passer? I'm just wondering, like, do you pay attention to the show? Do you listen to the host? Because if you actually listen to the host, you wouldn't even bother asking that question. I think the Ravens are idiots if they end up giving him that big-ass guaranteed deal, because I think he's slowly but surely getting exposed the last couple of years. He's breaking down. His body's taking hits, and people are finally figuring it out. He's not a passer. I'm in the minority here, okay? And I get it. That's fine. People are in love with the stats because he's a one-dimensional quarterback, you know? But then they come out with some of the passing stats, you know? Like they make it sound like it's something incredibly impressive. But he cannot pass if there's no run. It's pretty simple. And he can't even make all of the passes that you need in an offense. He only does a couple of certain passes that they work with him. A lot of the crossing routes and stuff like that, he doesn't really make the real tough throws because he can't. That's just the way it is. Will he make some of them every once in a while? Yes, because athletes will do that for you. That's why they're great athletes, because they freak you out at times. But his true talent is running the football, not passing the football. There's a reason why my brother Hollywood Brown says, I felt like I wasn't needed here. I felt like I wasn't part of the offense. Think about that. Why would a wide receiver say that in that offense? Because a wide receiver in the Ravens offense is like being the Maytag man. And if you're young, you have no idea what that reference means whatsoever. There's no reason to get super. That's right. You know what I love? When I hear talking heads on television say, well, they got to get Lamar superstar receivers. Well, superstar receivers don't want to go there because they're not playing with a superstar passer. They're playing with a running offense. That's why Hollywood Brown said, I didn't feel I was part of the offense. I didn't feel I was needed. Of course, because you have a limited quarterback. You know, he's a fantastic talent, but he's not a fantastic passer. He's a runner that can pass off the run, but he's not a true quarterback that can sit there in the pocket and pick you apart, because he'll never be that. So listen to the show. Pay attention to the host. And then you wouldn't ask something like that. Big O, I used to listen to you back in high school. Daniel Barrios reminds me how old I am. Now I'm 25. I found you again through Doug's channel. Good to see you doing well. Fins up. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. Thank you for the love on the super chat. All right, we got love for Cameron Wolfe. Let's unleash it, baby. The Wolf Pack right now.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolfe.
All righty, there he is. Is that a milkshake? Is that a iced tea? Is that a soft drink?
This is a Sunjoy from Chick-fil-A.
A Sunjoy.
Yeah, it's a little lemonade.
It can't be a milkshake at 10:30, right? I mean,
no. Too early for ice cream. So yeah. I get my sugar another way. I get it in a lemonade and sweet tea at 10:30. So
I like it. I like it. Is there any doubt that Belichick really is in town to spy, to place cameras and mics all over the place? It's not about heat. That's a bunch of BS, right? The child is in the car, right? I gotta be careful here.
Yeah, my daughter is in the car, but I have my AirPods on.
Oh, you have earpods. Okay. All right, good. And then put earmuffs on her. All right. Anyway, so Belichick, come on. Yeah. He's got the burglar stuff open. Did they hire some extra security around the stadium and around the facility? Because I know what that SOB is up to, bro. I know it.
Yeah. You always got to be cautious, right? When the rival is in town, especially with the Patriots. I do think that
I heard that he hired an AWACS plane that's flying above us at like 35,000 feet, so the Dolphins can't see it, and it's taking all kinds of pictures. So I suggested that McDaniel have the practices inside the building, the game planning stuff, the conditioning, do it outside, but game planning stuff inside, because that AWACS can, dude, they can take pictures of anything, dude, anything.
Right. Wow.
So be careful.
I will say, from what I understand, they are practicing in Palm Beach, so they are at least 50, 60 miles away. But like you say, you can never be too careful.
He has dude. That guy already dug a tunnel from Palm Beach to here. He had Elon Musk create a Tesla tunnel so he can drive down here. Right? He's under the facility and he's above it. I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm telling you. This is.
But I will say about the Patriots practicing out here. I don't know if I remember another team doing this. You know, maybe cross country if you're going on a West Coast trip. You go out there, you come out a little early, you stay an extra week. But coming out like a trip, it's only 2.5 hour flight. 2.5 hours, like it makes me wonder, has the Heat got to their mind? Because, you know, Belichick's played in Miami for 25, 30 years. And, you know, he's never come out early from what I understand. And so this year?
He's never faced a quarterback that's 3-0 against him. That's the other thing.
True.
Tua is his kryptonite.
Tua is
He
3-0
knows
against Belichick. Yep.
he knows he is Tua's bitch. That's the problem. Tua goes, I own your ass, bro. And Belichick is so nervous of Tua. That's the other reason why. And he's probably going to try to poison Tua. He's probably going to try to get him locked up in some traffic on Sunday or something. That's the other thing you got to watch out for. He's going after Tua, and he's going after the facility. I'm telling you.
So I know for sure he's probably worried about Tyreek Hill and what's going to happen for him down the field. And so, when I look at this game, that to me is going to be the most interesting element, the Belichick versus McDaniel battle, right? Like McDaniel was hilarious yesterday talking about it, it was not me and him again at Oklahoma drill. I don't think fans would pay to see that. Well, I would probably pay to see McDaniel versus Belichick at Oklahoma drill. But I will say I'm very eager to see McDaniel game plan. We haven't seen it in the full extent yet, so we haven't seen the elements of what he's going to do when the defense does something different. If Belichick has his history of taking away the best player, if all of a sudden first play they're doubling Tyreek Hill, how does McDaniel adjust? Does he say, hey, we're just going to focus on everybody else and get Waddle when everybody else touches? Or does he say, hey, I'm going to game plan Tyreek. I'm not going to let you take him out.
No. Wait a minute. But you have your answer already on that one. You can't tell that quarterback to do that. He won't do that.
Yeah.
That quarterback throws to the open guy. He doesn't throw. He's not the guy, I got to throw it to him, and him.
But Tyreek is different.
That's not who that dude is.
Tyreek is different, though. He's never had a Tyreek before.
I get it. Well, no, he probably had several of them in Alabama.
So they were really good players, but they were not Tyreek level. Jalen Waddle is not Tyreek level.
Well, Tyreek wasn't their level when they were at Alabama.
True, but he's elevated.
You know what I'm saying? Tyreek became Tyreek in the NFL.
Correct.
These guys were already Heisman candidates and all that in college football. Tyreek's clock started when he got to the NFL. That's when his light went on. Jalen Waddle's light was on years ago. So I'm just saying that he was in a huddle with like 3 stars usually at wide receiver.
Yeah, that is true. That is very much true. So, that's the element that I am interested to see. I do think you're right. I do think that they won't force feed Tyreek. The only thing I am curious about, and Tyreek has been perfect, everything you want to hear from him, everything you want to see from him. I do wonder if teams start to take away Tyreek, how he reacts if he's not getting his 10-plus catches. So I hope that it's nothing, but that is one element that I think we don't know for sure. If for whatever reason they take away Tyreek and Jalen Waddle ends up being the guy that gets to touch it, Tyreek going to be okay with that. I hope so, but you don't know for sure.
What you like the challenge of Miami's total wide receivers versus New England's corners?
I do for sure. They lost J.C. Jackson to the LA Chargers in free agency, so he was their guy. They also lost Malcolm Butler, who they brought back on IR. And so this is a team that is very light in cornerback. You'll probably see Jonathan Jones play in the slot. He's probably in my opinion, either their number 1 or number 2 corner, but he plays in the slot. And so I'm eager to see how the matchups go about, because I think that's a major advantage for the Dolphins, the receivers versus the Patriots corners. And so this could be a game for Tua to potentially feast, especially if Belichick doesn't have much respect for Tua, if he's playing him like he can't get the ball deep. I think that they're going to open things up and challenge those cornerbacks. And so I know they're always going to be a run-heavy offense. The run's going to be the core. But if they can run the ball early and establish that, and Belichick has to adjust, then I think we're going to see some bombs on this Patriots defense.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think these guys are going to attack it. And by the way, what is it with the Patriots that they don't want to pay corners?
There are certain positions they just do not value. They just do not value it.
No, they don't value anything, bro. They rarely pay people, period. I mean,
right.
They got lucky at times that Brady said, well, I got this supermodel wife that makes 8 times the money I do. I'll take a pay cut,
Right.
I mean, they got to break many times on that.
Yeah, they'll pay tight ends. They paid 2 tight ends last year somehow, but they do not pay corners. They do not pay receivers. It's something. So that that's the whole Tom Brady thing. They try to get you to come and play for less, for the good of the cause, for the good of the championship. And that sounds nice. until Brady leaves, and
Right.
guys are like, I need my money. It's all
Right.
cool. I like playing for championships, but I need my money.
If he doesn't win a championship or even goes deep into the playoffs ever again, you can't take away the accomplishments.
No,
But
you
does
can't.
he lose some shine? Because
I
Brady left the nest and won it
Yep,
all.
and won a
And
championship.
so,
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? You got to at one point
immediately.
like Shaq left
Yep,
and you went and won a couple titles with LeBron. Then LeBron leaves and you
yep,
still got to the finals without him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And you're still always, even with Zoe and Timmy, you were always a great franchise. So the Heat are not about one team, one player. They've been a great franchise through and through, and they
Yep.
get deep or win it with different players.
No, I think you're
Belichick
right.
has only proven it with one dude, period.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think for legacy wise, like you know how it is. We always talk legacy. Who's the best? Who's this and that? I remember when they left, when they departed ways, when Tom Brady left, there was the big conversation on sports debate on who's better, who was more impactful. Was it Belichick or Brady? And everybody had different answers. If Brady's the only one who won the ring, and especially if he gets another one somehow,
Yeah.
and Belichick, like you said, does not get further, then the legacy is going to go down that Brady was more important to the run than Belichick.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, it's just a reality. You're defined on what you're done separately. And so Belichick's a big believer in history. He would never tell you that it matters to him, but I believe it does matter to him. I think that he wants to at least even, if not better, Brady, because he knows that as a man of history, years and years down the line, people will always look back and say, Brady has this many, Belichick has this many.
The key I feel this week against that team, I think it's all about the running game.
Yeah.
I think because I think they're going to be happy having Mac Jones pass the ball 16, 20 times and complete, 12, 14 of them and a touchdown and 165 or 112 or something, really pedestrian numbers, but control the ball and run the hell out of it, because that's the part that you've got to know if Miami can get, have they gotten better at stopping the run, and how tough are they up the middle, and is Raekwon Davis going to step up, and are those linebackers going to clean things up? To me, I think that's the way he's going to, that I think was it the Buffalo game that they won like 9-6 or something, or 6.
Yeah, where Mac Jones only threw the ball like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that bad.
Right.
But I think it'll be an element like that in this game. I don't think he's going to try to air it out a whole bunch or things like that, because I just don't think they have that offense anyways as it is. But I just think they're going to try to really control the hell out of the ball and limit how many times you put Tyreek Hill on the field.
Well, what's interesting about that is if you listen to some of the reports from New England this offseason, they have really, really struggled up front. Their offensive line, like, as much as we talk about the Dolphins' offensive line, it sounded like the Patriots' offensive line was worse than the Dolphins was last year in camp.
Okay, so wait a minute. So now you're saying that it's Tom Brady, Dante Scarnecchia, then Belichick. Oh, I got you now. Okay, so without Brady or Scarnecchia,
right,
Belichick ain't shit. He's losing even more shine.
And
there you go. Pile on, baby. Pile on.
It's important, too, that Josh McDaniel is in here. And I know we've talked a lot about the play caller situation like we have on Info Network.
You know, Scarnecchia, too. Remember, Scarnecchia, too. Remember, they begged his ass to come back because things were awry. Okay?
Yes. OC coach is gone. O-line coach is gone. Receiver coach is gone. I'm sure there's other smaller coaches as well that are going. So it's a whole new staff. They're coming in here outside of Belichick, pretty much, whole new staff, and they're trying to implement a new system. And so the scheme they've been running, it has been very unsuccessful in camp. And Bill Belichick and Joe Judge, whoever is going to call plays, Matt Patricia, have tried to downplay it. But look, you're running into a Dolphins defense here. Like you said, they have to dominate up front. If the Patriots offensive line is struggling the way people say, this has got to be a dominant game for Christian Wilkins. It's got to be a dominant game for Raekwon Davis. If they do that and stop the run, I just don't know how the Patriots can score.
Yeah. No, I this is why more than ever, I'm convinced he's coming down early to plant mics and cameras everywhere because he knows he's at a major disadvantage. He knows the kryptonite is there named Tua. Now they added Tyreek. The offense is gone awry. No Scarnecchia, no Brady. They don't even have an offensive coordinator. Cheating is the only way out of here, man. Cheating is the only way out. What's the prediction? What happens on Sunday? Ooh, the freeze. That's it. He froze. He's frozen in time. Anybody want to sing the Frozen theme song right now? Anybody want to sing Freeze? A, E, A, E, I, O, U, U. And sometimes what? Freeze frame. Jay Giles. I don't know. I'm running out of freeze. Okay? I'm running out of things with freeze. Music with freeze. See? That's right. Josh Hart is onto something. Belichick freezing the goddamn interview. He's already doing it. You see what I'm telling you? Belichick is already in. Maybe he's messing with our iTunes because our iTunes have been down. By the way, those of you that are not getting some of the shows on iTunes, use Spotify because I know Spotify was down last week for a day. Then use iTunes. Have something else, Stitcher, Google Play. Have a second platform because all the other platforms are getting all the episodes. You're there? All right, we lost you. We got you back. That's right. Put on the earplug. There we go. You got the ears
my bad.
back.
My phone, I got the Patriots treatment because my phone overheated.
That's right.
On my dock.
I'm telling you, he's already started. The son of a bitch has already started, man. He's already getting at us here. All right, so give me a prediction to wrap it up here. What happens on Sunday? What does Cameron Wolfe say on Sunday?
I say it's 27-17. Dolphins win. I think they win relatively comfortable. I think they're up most of the game. Not a blowout, but they're up comfortably most of the game. And, I think that nobody has a great game. Pretty decent all around. Tua maybe throws for 250 yards. Tyreek gets a touchdown. They run for about 100, 110 yards. And they pick off Mac Jones at least once.
Nice.
So that's sort of the feel I'm getting. It's not we dominated the Patriots, but it's weak.
I want you to go really out on a limb and say Noah Igbenogany is going to get that interception.
No, I will not say that Noah's going to get that interception. Javon Holland will get the interception. I won't go that far.
Okay. All right. Just testing. Predictions are just there for all of us to fail. That's why they want.
Right.
That's why they want you to give predictions. That's all.
I want my picks to at least have a chance.
All right. So we'll give you a chance with Javon Holland. All right.
Yes.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe and catch his exceptional work there at the NFL Network. Cam, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. We'll talk down the line.
Appreciate you. All right. Sounds good.
There you go. The great Cameron Wolfe. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Belichick's already interrupting with our show. No, but seriously, those of you that might be downloading the show on iTunes, it's funny because I'm telling you this, but the people that are listening on iTunes aren't going to get this message because they're not getting it on iTunes right now. I mean, some things are getting through, so maybe it's there. But listen, if you listen through us through Stitcher or Spotify or iTunes or SoundCloud or Podbean or Amazon or Google Play or whatever the hell platform you use, iHeart, whatever, have a backup. Download another one just in case because these things have, things happen. And right now, I believe it's still going on with iTunes. They're not getting all of the stuff they're not getting most of the stuff that Sean is putting out there. You see? Yeah, they're still missing a crap ton of segments from yesterday. It only picked up one of the 13 best ofs of over the weekend. And I think maybe Friday, it looks like it has all of Fridays. So it started over the weekend. So something's going on with iTunes. So I'm just saying that if you have iTunes, then have something else as a backup, whatever, another platform. That way you can compare that if iTunes doesn't have it, you can have it on Stitcher, Spotify, or whatever the hell, or vice versa. Last week, I think Spotify was down for a day. And then you guys are reaching out to me and Sean. And it's like, hey, your downloads aren't working on Spotify. And it's like, we don't have any control over that. We don't have any control over what's going on with iTunes right now. So I'm just saying, because it's a pain in the ass. That's for sure. Killing our numbers, too, on top of all of that, because most people use iTunes. I think it's going to be Iggy that gets that pick, says Zachary. There we go. Zachary's a guy with balls. Not like our boy Brady, who's already folding like a cheap 10. Hey, if Tua fails, can we trade for Lamar Jackson? Come on, man. You know, I have no confidence in Tua. Because, of course, if you're already thinking of you're like the guy, like your buddy, you're getting married and your buddy says, hey, so what about if you got to get a divorce, bro? Don't you love that friend of yours, right? You're fixing your tie, or you're trying to get ready for the wedding, or you're at the bachelor party, right? And you're sitting back having some drinks, or you're laughing, whatever, and then stop for a moment, and your buddy looks over and says, dude, you sure you want to get married? What about if you got to get a divorce? And you can like look over at the guy like, yo, dude, like, what the F, bro? Because I had that buddy. Still have him to this day. But he asked me the same shit almost 30 years ago when I was getting married. Hey, dude, what about if you got to get a divorce? I go, brother, I'm not thinking about a divorce. I love the woman. I want to marry her. I want to stay with her. Hey, we're about to cross 29 years in a few months. You know, wow. I'm not thinking of failure. Hey, Sean, why don't we start this podcast, but we'll only start it for about 7 months. Then we'll fail. You know, we'll have the same aspirations that the people at 1210 and Onside had. None. Yeah, no. You don't do something to fail. You do something to try to succeed. Okay? It's like, you know, you get to that bridge when you have to cross it. At the moment, you don't think about stuff like that. Let's see. What is Miles says? This is not about not supporting. You are actively sabotaging by talking about failing before the first game. Now, oh, okay, you're talking to Brady. Oh, there he goes. Brady says, fair point. Oh, yeah, Brady. It's ridiculous right now. Why is anybody talking about Tua failing right now? Let me spin it on you, Brady. Let me spin this negativity bullshit that you just sprung on everybody on the freaking chat board. Okay? Let me spin it on you. Okay, so this kid had no fucking coaching staff. No offensive coordinators, no offensive line coach, no running game. The offensive line, God bless them, they're trying, but they had no education. Okay? Not an education. They had no education. Okay? So they had a head coach that was sabotaging everything because he had no idea how to build an offensive staff. Yet he still wins more than he loses. He throws more touchdowns than interceptions. He's fucking undefeated against the Patriots. So you think he's going to fail now that he has maybe an offensive coach, offensive line coaches, offensive coordinators. They added a stud tackle. They added a guard that they switched over to center that can block the shit out of people. They added 2 fast running backs. They added the best receiver in the NFL. They added a big slot receiver in Cedric Wilson. They found a young little stud in Ezukama, and you think he's going to fail. This is the amazing part about people out there. So the kid overcame sewage. So now you're actually going to give him sushi and he's going to fail. Think about that one. How does that make any sense? How does a kid that has a winning record and actually has played well considering the terrible situation? Oh, let me add something else, Brady. He was the least sacked quarterback in the NFL with no running game and no offensive line. Meanwhile, the guy you used to have here, Tannehill, had an offensive line and 2 running backs and was the number 1 sacked quarterback in the NFL. yet you think he's going to fail. This is what I love about the negativity. Nobody ever thinks the positivity. Nobody ever thinks about the reality. Let me just think about the negativity. Dude, what if you go out there and you get a cold because you get wet? Well, F it, bro. I only get to see Pink Floyd one time. I only get to see whatever band or whatever performance. I'm going to go in the rain. I mean, come on, dude. This is how we're going to live life? Some of you at least. I don't live life like that. Okay? I hope for success, and then I fear the failure. And if it happens, well, then we tackle it. You know? When it happens, we then overcome. Okay? I worked with a freaking loser at 1210. The guy didn't know jack shit about radio. He's an idiot. No talent whatsoever. I tried the best, tried to help, tried to carry it, couldn't, can't overcome incompetence. It fails, I move on, I try to overcome. But at the moment, Sean knows I wasn't trying to fail. I was trying to make anything and everything happen. He knows it. He was around. You know, you can't live your life like that, man. You can't live your life like that. That's no fun. Leon Fresco, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Let me pull it up here on this side because the live screen is a little behind. Oh, first, Daniel Barrow says, oh, no, this is an old one. Make sure I haven't passed up any other ones. I'm trying to catch up here. Here it is, Leon. Thank you, sir. It says, took Dolphins and over in the parlay. Do it, oh. That's it. I'm not that guy, man. Just not that guy. And I think they're going to succeed. I really do. I really like what I see from this team overall. By the way, folks, if you are going to go out for the football season, Sports Grill, they've got 8 great locations. The 8th one in Doral is about to open. We'll give you the heads up when it does. But all football season, they've got some great specials. $1.50 Bud Light drafts and bottles during the NCAA and NFL games. Cocktails are only $5 during NCAA and NFL games. Cherry lemonade and tailgate tea, $12 domestic pitchers. Bone-in wings are now 15% off. They've got some new menu items like the buttermilk chicken sandwich and the buffalo tater tots. Mondays, the daily specials, $7 single smash burger, $2 tacos on Tuesday. You can choose from chicken, beef, or fish. Today is Tuesday. And Wednesday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult entree. So check it out. Go to the website, sportsgrill.com. Find the nearest location to you and go out with your friends, family members. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the fun. Enjoy it there at Sports Grill, man. Tony Zagala says, I lost it on some moron in another chat. The guy said that he's done with Tua because he's waited 2 years. Wow. That's how it is. It's ridiculous. Lenny Pena says Tua's going to look like Alabama Tua this year and beyond. The only thing that worries me about Tua, like with any other player, are injuries. If he can stay healthy, look out. That's the only thing I've always been concerned about with Tua, his durability and his body. I just want him to get rid of the damn ball. Don't hold on and try to make plays, young man. Okay? Stay. Get rid of it. Stay in the game. Rick D-Man, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, who will be the face of Miami sports? Well, if Tua's successful, forget it. It's over. It's over. It's not even close. Now, Tua is the kind of player that brings the attention. It's Marino-like. Attention, not the player. Let's not compare. I'm not saying he's anything like Marino. But I'm saying that, how Marino is revered, loved, and how people talk about him, and he's a lightning bolt and all that. We haven't. Ricky's the last guy that's like Tua. Yeah, it's Tua like by miles. Notice I'm only talking football players. As great as Wade is, Tua is like, if he has success like Wade, it's over. He's like, he explodes. Football's football in this town, dude. It's number one. It will always be number one. It's just kind of, it's powerfully dormant right now. Put it that way. And I say powerfully dormant. And that's the adjective I'm going to use because the Heat can never be powerfully dormant. The Marlins can never be powerfully dormant. Only the Dolphins and the Canes can be powerfully dormant. And what do I mean by that? You try to see if the Heat can go 15 plus years of not winning anything and barely ever making it to the playoffs. See what kind of reception they'll have around town. They'll disappear off the map. Off the map. They can have a down year or two, and people stick by them. They can't have 15, 18, 20 years of down. No other sport in town can have that. The Heat know that. That's why they stay relevant. They get it. The Panthers have to do that. The Marlins, until they ever get the ownership, they'll do it. But the Dolphins have incredible interest, and they've done nothing for 20 years and more. Can you imagine when they do something? Tua doesn't even have to win a Super Bowl to be a monster. If he just wins games and constantly gets to the playoffs and starts making deep runs, the town will own it all, dude. There's nothing like a football star in South Florida. Nothing like it. We still talk about Marino. We still talk to this day about Zonka. And it's been decades that dude's been on the field. And if he still talks, people want to hear from him and all that. And even young people are like, oh, that guy. Oh, okay. And then they have some kind of interest because it's the Dolphins, because it's football. There's nothing like football, man. Nothing like it for South Floridians. So the day that they do have success, Tua will be the face by miles and miles and miles. It won't even be a discussion. That's how enormous it'll be for a guy like that. For anybody. I mean, you saw it with Ricky. Those of you that were around for Ricky, and there was no real great team success or anything there. It was just Ricky having a magical year of 1,800 yards, and he owned it. Everybody wanted to see him be a part of it. And think about it, team success was nothing. Mediocre. So if Tua has a winning season and they have team success, oh my God. Nobody on the Heat, nobody on the Panthers, nobody in the Marlins nobody will even come close. Enter, nobody. Who starts opposite of X? It's a great question, man. It's a great question. I think they're going to go with Crossan. That's what I'm going to guess that it's going to be Crossan. It's probably what I would do. Mob Rule says, what the F? If you're not excited about this team, check your pulse. I doubt you have one. That's true. That is true. You got to love what the front office did. Love the vibe from the coaching staff. And the players look good, man. Yoshi Monsta says, you're not wrong, Big O. I've been watching sports since 2003 and started with the Heat. Never saw a lot of downfall years, but I know diehard Dolphin fans who have never left a team after so many bad seasons. Only the Dolphins and the Canes can do this. Only. And the Dolphins still a little bigger than the Canes. But only football can do that. If basketball does that, they'd completely fall off a cliff, and people would not give a shit about basketball again. Let's take a break. Hour number 2 is next.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
I hope you all are doing well out there on a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. Yes. What do we got going on? We got a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Last night, by the way, our second push of the night there, Sean. I thought I was going to lose, actually. But yesterday in our A. Lenny Locksmith lockdown segment, we ended up pushing. Let's give you our A. Lenny Locksmith lockdown segment right now.
Time to lock is down. The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Services in South Florida from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, ALennyLocksmith.com locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Here's the Big O to tell you what needs to be locked down.
We went with the over 51 yesterday in the game. Unfortunately, last night, I thought I was actually going to lose in the Clemson-Georgia Tech game early in that fourth quarter, but they came up with some points, and they ended up 41-10, so it ended up at 51, so it goes push overall. So we end up with 30, 19, and 2, so we've actually had 2 ties already during this streak. Tonight, the Marlins will start a set against the Phillies. And Jesus Luzardo has actually pitched well lately. He's got a 3.44 ERA, 3-6 record. Now, Aaron Nola is 9-11 for the Phillies and a 3.43 ERA. So they've kind of pitched around the same, except Nola's a little closer to 500 than Luzardo is right now. The line, Phillies are favored by 1.5. The over and under is 6.5. Miami is plus 180 in the money line, and the Phillies are minus 225. Now, the over and under is so dangerous with a poor offense like the Marlins. But the 1.5 runs by the Phillies, I like that one. Because, again, they've lost I believe it's 7 or 8 in a row or something like that. I think it's like 8 in a row or something. No, 7 in a row. It's 7 in a row. 7 in a row. They're pretty much mailing it in now at this point. This is a team that's just absolutely dejected. There isn't a lot of confidence. There can't be a lot of fight. There's probably, and I'm talking about not fight amongst themselves. I'm talking about fight like every night fight kind of stuff. So I think this is a team that slowly but surely just gets more demoralized as the season goes on because it's a helpless season. I'm going to lay the 1.5 runs. Philly's got something to play for. Miami has nothing to play for. Lay the 1.5 runs. That is how we're going to lock it down. And by the way, Lenny Locksmith, we love him. Lenny, by the way, he actually was here at our house last week because we redid our yard, and the side doors that we have to lead to the backyard, we needed to put new locks on them because they were kind of old. So it was time to upgrade those locks. So I called Lenny, came on down, and that's the beauty of Lenny, man, from Miami all the way up to Port St. Lucie and anywhere in between. If you're in West Palm, if you're in Fort Lauderdale, you're in North Miami, you're in Aventura, you're in Liberty City, it doesn't matter where you're at. Hobe Sound, you call Lenny Locksmith, 561-284-5090, and even our friends in Tampa and Orlando and in Phoenix, Arizona, as they continue to expand, Lenny Locksmith. So if we have listeners in Tampa and Orlando, save the number, 561-284-5090. If you're in Phoenix, 561-284-5090, and support the great people that support us. So if you get locked out of your home, locked out of your car, they can reprogram the keys to your car and everything. Lenny Locksmith. That's your lockdown segment.
The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming. All model cars. 24-hour service. Call them anywhere in South Florida at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at ALennyLocksmith.com where we lock it down.
All right. There we go. And we think Lenny did a great job, by the way. It wasn't Lenny himself. It was somebody else, but Lenny was fantastic. And there we go. Keeping our home protected with a little Slomans. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Manny Navarro will be joining us in this hour. He'll join us at the bottom of the hour, so we'll have a little fun. The Dolphin practice squad is out. They added Josiah Bronson from Washington, Keon Smith, both are tackles. They added Christopher Hinton, defensive tackle from Michigan. Southern Cal linebacker Chris Steele also was added, along with James Empey, Coleman, Kalen Barnes, Stilley, Cameron Good, Porter Gustin, Vernon McKinley III, Zaquandre White, Freddie Swain, and Braylon Sanders. These are all, and Big Cap Bryant also from UCF they added. That is what makes up of the Dolphin practice squad. Listen, I can't really comment too much on a lot of these guys. I am hoping that we see more of Cameron Good when it's all said and done. And maybe when he's a little bit more comfortable, I just think that he's going to end up being a better player than Eguavon. And so, you know, the Eguavon story is fun in the preseason. I just haven't seen him make a relevant play in the regular season. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of I'm not impressed after all these years. I have yet to see you do anything on the field in the regular season. I just have a hard time just celebrating, summer camp with you. Basically. AVG back at practice. So Andrew Van Ginkel, for those of you that don't know that we call him AVG, it's just a lot easier AVG than Andrew Van Ginkel. You know what I mean? Even though it's a pretty cool name, but AVG is actually cool. I tell you, if he balls out, which I hope he does this year, I think he will. You got to market yourself, bro, and start creating a logo with AVG. Looking forward to his season. I really am. So it's good after the appendectomy 2 weeks ago. Excuse me, a little gas here. He's back at practice. I don't know if he's going to play this week, so we'll find out. What else do we have here that I wanted to talk about in the world of sports? Ooh, this is a little bit off the beaten path in sports, but it is sports. But I think sometimes people, and maybe it's just age, maybe it's racism, maybe it's frustrations, maybe it's bitterness, maybe it's jealousy. There's a lot of adjectives that I can use to describe this situation, but I'm pretty disgusted by it overall, to be quite honest. And I'm talking about Margaret Court. I thought Margaret Court showed a lack of class with Serena Williams and a level of arrogance that I got to say, hey, lady, if you're not senile and you are in your, you're grounded still, who the hell do you think you are? Shut the hell up. You sound, just disgusting to me. So she won 24 Grand Slams back in the day, right? I'm sorry. No, she won, 24 Grand Slams. And she goes, Serena, I've admired her as a player. She told the Britain Daily Telegraph in what ESPN calls a rare interview, but I don't think she has ever admired me. First of all, that's not for you to say. That's for other people to say. It's not something, and then now you're spinning it and you're making Serena a bad person when this is all what you're thinking. Maybe she does admire you from afar. Just because she doesn't talk about it. Well, we don't talk about people that are, 50, 60, 70 years ago. It just happens as time goes on. You talk about what's more relevant now. That's just the way it is. 20, 30 years from now, some of you, when you're older at that time, nobody's going to be talking about radio and talking about me. They're going to be talking about people that are doing radio at that time. Well, there's no radio then because there's barely any radio now, but whatever is sports talk then. Just the way it is. People forget about you. They move on. Anyway, so the 80-year-old Court, again, recorded 24 titles from 60 to 73. While Williams' reign has lasted over 2 decades, according to ESPN, Court has said she's become a person non grata in tennis world due to her Christian beliefs, which led her to oppose same-sex marriage when it was proposed in Australia. She's a native of Albury, Australia, and is currently a Christian minister in Perth, Western Australia. A lot of press and television today, particularly in tennis, don't want to mention my name, Court said. The honor has not been there for what I did in my own nation. I've been given titles, but they would still rather not mention me, right? So it goes on to talk about all her accomplishments. And then she says, Serena has played 7 years more than I did. I finished in my early 30s. People forget that I took 2 years out. I first retired when I was 25, thinking I would never return to tennis. I got married, had a baby, but then I had one of my best years, winning 24 out of 25 tournaments. I came back after 2 babies, Court said. After having the first baby, I won 3 out of the 4 slams. Serena hasn't won a slam since having a baby. Now, again, I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know what it is, but let me remind Margaret Court that she couldn't stand on the same court with Serena, with Steffi Graf. They would wipe the floor with her. Okay? Just like some of those Celtics in the 60s. You know, they're not going to be able to hang with people nowadays. They won't even be a 12th man on a team nowadays. Bob Cousy was a hell of a player in that era. That doesn't mean that he's going to be better than the flake Kyrie Irving. Forget Magic Johnson. I don't even want to mention Magic Johnson because that would be an insult just to mention it. I mean, we're not going to compare athletes from 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago to what goes on now. You know, I can be the old man on the lawn at times and tell you about this or that, but I'm never going to tell you about athletes not being better. Cars are better. Just the way it is. You know? Some things do get better. And athletes and their training and everything else, they're better nowadays. But I don't know what was up Margaret Court's ass. Like I said, I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know if it's racism. I don't know if she's just a bitter old person. I don't know if she's just so conservative or something. I have no idea what makes her think like that and go after Serena that way. When I've never heard Serena say one bad word about Margaret Court. I've never heard her take a shot at Margaret Court's career and say, yeah, Margaret won those 24 Grand Slams and those titles when there wasn't much competition. You can't compare the competition in tennis then to now. Did you hear Serena say that? So why is this old bag want to be such a bitch with Serena? Oh, I don't think she's ever admired me. Well, how the hell do you know, dude? Did you ever talk to her? Maybe she does admire you. Maybe she doesn't have to call you to admire you. It's like, and it's just so, it's something to spin and turn it on somebody that has nothing to do with it. Serena never attacked her, never degraded her, never took a shot at her career or anything like that, from what I know. And here's Margaret Court, like, expecting people to kneel at her presence. And then, of course, she's got to talk up her accomplishments over a great champion in Serena and probably the GOAT. At least for me, as old as I am, it's Serena and Steffi Graf. That's the match I want to see because in my eyes, those are the two greatest tennis players I have ever seen in the female circuit. I don't know how many of you would agree with me. I think a lot of you that have watched the amount of tennis I have, or you're older than I am, I don't think you'd pick two people outside of Graf and Serena. I think most of us that have watched tennis on the women's side, we probably have to put those two women. And Martina's like, right there, but I'm gonna put Steffi and Serena. That's the match of a lifetime that I would love to watch. That's the match that I would give anything to watch those two women in their prime. But Margaret Court, come on, man. Change your depends, sweetheart. Oh. Never heard of this Margaret person, of course, because it's an older player from back in the day. Don't let Mad Dog hear you talk about Bob Cousy. Well, you live in the past, you will die in the past. Okay? We can reminisce about the past, but let's not also drown ourselves in, misinformation and stuff that really is not the reality. Okay? The athlete today can run circles around the athlete from the 60s. It's just not, it's not even close. Now, if you gave some of those athletes, some of the 70s, and the 80s, some of the 90s, the nutrition and the doctors and the medicine that they have now, then they would have a chance. They would have a better chance to hang. But they have a clear advantage nowadays. They have all the experience from the past, all the tape from the past, all the plays from the past, all the games won and lost from the past. They have all of that to build on as a library, and then all of the techniques that have been improving over the decades. Athletes today have all the advantages. So that's why they're better. Some of them might have been more durable in the past. Okay, I give you that. But it's hard to deny the athleticism that's there. For me, to hear Margaret Court respond that way, I just thought it was uncalled for. Absolutely uncalled for. Let's see. Big O, Graf, Serena, two women that brought power hitting to the women's game. Hell yeah. Margaret was a great tennis player, singles, doubles, mixed. However, she did lose to Bobby Riggs in the battle of the sexes. Yeah, but was it Margaret or no? That was Billie Jean King. That wasn't Margaret Court, bro. That was Billie Jean King that played Bobby Riggs in the battle of the sexes. Dougie Fresh says Steffi Graf also qualified for the German track team to race in both 400 and 800, and Court thinks she could hang with her, Serena. Yeah, no, not even close. Not even close. Dude, I'm a Chris Everett fan. That was like my favorite tennis player growing up because she was also an incredible hottie too back in those days. And Chris Everett could never, and she was a great tennis player in her day. Like Mary Jo Fernandez. But could they hang with Steffi and then Serena? No, bro. No. And you can give Chris Everett all the training you want. She ain't going to be Steffi Graf, and she ain't going to be Serena. Ever. Sorry. Not going to happen. Can't coach him. Can't win with him. Can't do it. All right, let's talk a little Canes, a little Miami Hurricanes. Manny Navarro and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report next.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Feeling good, I mean, season's underway, and I thought Miami looked pretty good for the most part. I know there were some mishaps on defense, but good start to the season.
Yeah, I do have some concerns. Two of my concerns that stood out to me, and I want you to walk me through these. One, I don't think there were enough sacks by this defense. And by the way, respect to the kid on the other side. If that kid, the quarterback, if he was on a real, frontline type of team, he would be a player, man. I like that kid. He was a tough dude. But I don't think they got enough sacks. And then I'm also looking on the offensive side, and Xavier Restrepo was terrific, but then nobody else showed up. And this is crap competition. So I'm wondering if it's stiffer competition, how much harder is it going to be on Restrepo if there isn't anybody else to take pressure off them, because this is not a good team you just played. I was expecting some other guys to make some noise. So that concern about the receiving core kind of magnified it for me in this game. Walk me through it and walk me off the ledge.
Yeah, well, let's start with the offense. First of all, Mario, we knew there were going to be more balance, right? There was going to be more of a focus on the running game. So from the get-go, I think the game plan was to be more of a run-heavy team. Number two, I think, they're saving stuff, obviously. They're not trying to show anything exotic either. So this is the kind of opponent where you line up, you block your guy in front of you, you push him around, and you do that. So from a receiving standpoint, I'm still not where you're at, where I'm ultra concerned, but I see your point, because at some point, somebody other than Xavier Restrepo is going to have to be dependable in that passing game. And I agree. But I think we kind of have to wait and see here, because I just don't think they were flashing enough of what they can actually do. If you catch my drift, it was just more
I totally get you, but
yeah,
just mano a mano without having to. If you have to scheme against these guys, oh my God, really? It's it's kind of like a scrimmage where the scrimmage in public is kind of or preseason football where it's kind of vanilla. But okay, vanilla means show me that you can beat them straight up. And that's what I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more people beating them straight up without having to scheme. You are playing Bethune-Cookman.
Right. No, and I get it. There were 5 passes that they threw 15 yards down the field or longer. That was it. 5 passes the whole game. TVD had 4 of them. Jake Garcia had the other. I just think my sense was they were playing very conservative and just trying to run the football and not show anything at all to anybody, not put anything on tape of value. So to me, I'm the jury's still out for me on the receivers, but I can see why that would be a concern, because you'd say, hey, line up and run past the cornerback and just beat him down the field, right? You can do that once. Again, I just think they were so focused on the running game that was the priority. Like, we're going to just line up, helmet to helmet, knock you back. And that's what Mario wanted to do. He wanted to establish that sort of attitude with this team. Defensively, you mentioned the sacks, only 2 sacks in the game. You'd have to sit there and look at every single play and say how many times they brought the blitz. I didn't think they blitzed very often, if at all, except on like 3rd down, like traditional blitzing downs. Again, saving maybe some of their more exotic stuff. But I will say this, the quarterbacks for Bethune-Cookman, and you mentioned it already, those guys were very, very elusive. They could get out of containment pretty easily.
Yeah.
They were fast. I think what got exposed was the lack of speed, really, that Miami has at the linebacker position and on those edges. Back in the day, you wouldn't worry.
They weren't impressive.
No, back in the day, those guys would have chased those quarterbacks down without a problem.
Yeah.
But again, it is a different era in terms of the players that Miami's getting. They're not getting the elite defensive ends anymore and edge rushers. These are kids that, they had to go to the transfer portal to get 5 guys, right? I mean, those actions speak louder than words to me, that he went in there and got 5 defensive linemen. So, fair concerns. The bigger thing to me was the coverage. Just again, you look at the secondary, kid like DJ Ivey missing a tackle, Cam Kitchens, missing a tackle, going for the pick instead of the receiver. Those, they had 10 missed tackles in the game, which was better, right? Because we saw 30 against Michigan State last year. So 10 I could live with, especially, 10 is usually about the average these days in college football. But the breakdowns in the secondary to me were a little bit more concerning. And the pass rush, I think, will get there. I just don't think they showed a lot. I'm going to blame it on being vanilla in that game as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that. I just wanted to see a little more. It's not like something that I'm, oh my God, shocked and really like, they can't fix it. But I do have to worry about like, okay, well, wait a minute, man. I'd like to. This is the kind of game where you want to see other receivers than Restrepo kick ass. In other words, I would have liked to have seen Restrepo with 30 yards himself, because I already know what he is. I would have liked to have seen somebody else with 100 yards. You know what I mean? That would have made me feel a little better because I'm going to say, oh, okay, well, then there's somebody else outside of Restrepo. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then pressuring the quarterback, like you said, hell, even when they try to run, a couple of those tackles behind the line of scrimmage or something would have added a couple of extra sacks too, in the process. So, yeah, it's just those were like, if I had to nitpick against that opponent, that would be the stuff that I'm nitpicking on and concerned about overall. TVD, I thought played well. Dude, I thought Jake Garcia, that one pass where he shifted a little bit and then completed it, I thought that was like, pocket awareness, manipulating the pocket, all that. I really like that. And hell, he was sharp. What was he, 7 of 7 or something like that?
8 of 8, yeah.
Or 8 of 8. There you go. So the quarterbacks really impressed me. And I really like what I saw from Jake. And that's something that obviously it's so important just in case something happens to TVD.
Yeah, I think what I liked about him is you got to see him with the first team offensive line, which usually in a lot of these scrimmages that they had, he was always running with the second team. So he's not going to look as good not having the best protection. So they gave him 2 series with the starting offensive unit, and he had more than enough time to throw the football, and he made great decisions with the ball. Didn't put the ball in harm's way, which is something that he's known for being a little bit too much of a gunslinger at times. Like you said, evaded the pressure well. More than anything, I know it's Bethune-Cookman, but I wanted to see that offensive line kick somebody's ass, and they did for the most part. Like, there were very few negative plays at all with that offensive line. And
I like the running backs.
They did a good job, and that's without even the Rooster playing, right? I mean, that's just Parrish and essentially Thaddeus Franklin and a couple of walk-ons. So they ran for over 300 yards. I mean, they did what they were supposed to, but yes, there were blemishes. There were moments that you sit there and you say, okay, these could be troubling signs. All in all, though, you look at the rest of the ACC, right? I don't know if you watched the rest of the conference this weekend, but everybody's got warts. Everybody has warts.
I mean, App State scoring 8,000 points on North Carolina.
Yeah,
I mean, bro, that's some stuff there, man.
Yeah, and yet their quarterback looks phenomenal. Drake May looks unbelievable. I mean, for first year guy taking over, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, for North Carolina. So that every team has little bit that you like, a little bit that you don't like. I think Miami is perfectly positioned to what we were talking about in the preseason, which is they can win that division. They should win that division and get to the ACC title game, and we'll see. The one takeaway I had from last night's game, I don't know if you watched Clemson and Georgia Tech. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious the freshman kid is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that one series that he was in there, it felt like, okay, he takes them up to an entirely different level.
They got somebody there. Yeah, I'm with you there. No doubt.
So,
yeah.
We'll see.
By the way, can you see Mario doing this? Huh?
Not even close, brother. Not even close. Maybe after the national championship game, but that's about it.
There you go.
Mac
Mario
Brown, baby, 71 years old.
Yeah,
celebrate life, I guess.
That is awesome, right there, dude. Put that shit on, huh? Put that shit on. I give anything to see Mario do this. There's no shot in hell you get Mario to do this, bro.
0.
Nada.
No.
I
think he'd look have to have won the national championship.
He'd look at you like a face like, are you serious? Do you want to be on this team? That kind of stuff. Like I took away the chain and you want me to do this shit. Right?
By the way, did you like that little moment where he chewed out Cam Kitchen's ass?
Yeah, enough of the bullshit. Is that what you're talking about? Is that one? Yes. Yeah, that was. Hey, bro, listen, it's got to happen. This is the way it's got. The law has got to be laid down. You got to be a football coach at times, and buddy system does not work.
Yeah,
in football, it just doesn't, man. After the person's earned it, and then that person's an incredibly hard worker and all that, then you can get to that point where you can actually be a little, you can let your guard down. But he's right now where he's got to make sure everybody, for the cliche, crosses every every T and dots every I and all that stuff. And yeah, I get it. I have no problem with what he did and how he's handling things. I think he's handled everything beautifully.
By the way, I thought it was funny how immediately Cam Kitchen spikes the ball and then runs over to the bench and stands on the bench, right, to celebrate. Just like it was almost as if they forgot the turnover chain was gone for a half second.
Right.
Did they not? I mean, it was almost the full-on celebration. So it tells you that no matter how much a guy like Mario Cristobal beats this message down their head in camp, right? No turnover chain, cut the bullshit, all that stuff. Naturally, that's who these kids are.
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
So that it should show the public how difficult this is.
Me society, bro. That's what they are. They're in the me society.
You have to me, you have to look at signs like that and take it for what it is, man. It doesn't matter what coach is there. You have to really yank this behavior out of these kids, and it takes a lot. It takes a big effort.
Right. And then they think also just because you say it, you may not live up to it. You might let them get away with it, and now they know they're not going to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the line and the official line in the sand was drawn, because I'm sure when the film room came around the next day, I'm sure it was brought up again, like, yo, I don't want to see this shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to celebrate here. Behind the scenes, he probably told them, what are you celebrating? You beat Bethune-Cookman.
Right.
You know, he's probably telling him that. You know,
Well,
it's like what was it? East Carolina Western University or whatever the hell. It wasn't East Carolina. It was like Eastern Michigan or whatever it was. Remember that game that they barely won?
Central Michigan. 17-12. Yep.
They barely won, and then you had the idiots on the sideline celebrating like they just beaten Alabama or something. It's like, dude, you beat Central Michigan.
But
shut up and go to the locker room already.
This is what I mean. That little moment is what I mean when I say the kids are different nowadays. When I keep saying that to you over and over again and seeing these kids the way they are.
Yeah.
And Cam Kitchens is a great kid. He's a great kid. He is smart. He's a good player.
Yeah.
But inside of them, this is who they are. And as a coach, you have this battle to try to get them to see it your way. It's not an easy battle. It's just not.
Yeah. They don't do it at Alabama, do they? They don't have any big ass celebrations or anything. They just high five each other and walk the hell off the field, right?
Yep.
That's it. They do like the regular football celebration. None of this elaborate crap that's been invented now.
That's because the day that those kids walked in there, that was the message they got from day one. And that's not the case. Cam Kitchens played for Manny Diaz last year. It was a different environment. So that's why when we say, hey, can a coach has to bring in his players, right? His culture. That's what we mean from the get-go. Those freshmen come in expecting and knowing what it is. Not, hey, we played under somebody else. That's why it always takes time.
What can you tell us about Southern Miss outside of Frank Gore Jr.?
Don't throw the ball a whole lot. Think they threw it 13 times, ran it 54 times in this game, only 5 completions. So they're a very one-dimensional team in that sense. I know they had a couple of quarterbacks dinged up in that game, and they rotated through. Defensively, very aggressive, going to blitz a whole lot, bring a lot of pressure. They've got some kids that are decent athletes and players. Liberty is a good program. Hugh Freeze has done a good job there. So it's not like, and they took them quadruple overtime to lose to Liberty. So, they're a better opponent than what Miami faced last week, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And again, what I want to see this week is that the offensive line continues to perform at a high level. It doesn't give up pressures, because they didn't give up. They gave up, I think, 4 pressures the whole game against Bethune-Cookman. No sacks, very few tackles for loss. If Miami can be that physical team, which is what Mario wants them to be, then they can be very successful this year, because they will dictate the line of scrimmage, and they will be able to keep teams like Texas A&M, who's super talented, in check. If you have a great offensive line, you can stay in that game. So I want to see that this week. If we start to see cracks in the armor for that offensive line this week, then I'm going to be very concerned going to Texas A&M, because that team is no joke.
Yeah, no, definitely. Of course. That's a loaded SEC club, man. And Jimbo's been there already a few years now. So that's going to be one hell of a test for them going into this game. Did you see that? I forgot who it was now. They have a celebration called it's It's a basketball hoop, and they have to dunk it. Did you see?
I didn't see that one.
Who was it that? Oh man, who was I talking? Maybe it was Saturday's show. Let me see. Or no, I didn't have a Saturday. It was a Friday show. Let me see. Was it Fridays that we were talking about it? Yes, the Pitt Panthers. They have a turnover hoop. So they literally bring out a hoop
and dunk,
and you dunk the football in it, and then the whole team jumps with you.
Did you?
So guess what I think is going to happen? Somebody's blowing a knee ligament.
Hey,
I hate to say it, but Bill Gramatica did it. Martine's brother, remember? He hit that field goal. He jumped up in celebration. Bam, he popped in. We had a Tennessee linebacker. I believe he lives here in South Florida. He's a good player. He had like some kind of a sack or something, jumped up in the air, blew out a knee ligament. He was out for the season on a silly celebration.
LSU just lost a great player on their defense, Mason Smith. They're big time defensive lineman against FSU, jumping up in the air.
Oh, that's right. I missed that.
Landing on his knee, and he's done for the year.
I kind of saw that game on and off. That's why. So I missed that. Wow.
That's where I thought you were going next. That's why I said
I missed that. Because I kind of watched that game half-ass.
Yeah.
I really didn't think that FSU was going to win that game.
They're improved.
At the end, I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on here? You know, so yeah. I didn't think much of Norville either. So, you know, it's like, damn, I got to bring on my man Irish O'Fell to talk a little bit more about that. Like, yo, what the hell's going on? Wow. No, but seriously, I think these silly celebrations like that one, like everybody's, dude, it's like go look at it. The turnover hoop, go look at it. It's on Twitter all over the place. And they're all jumping next to each other. You know somebody's going to land on somebody's ankle or something like that. I hate to see that. Some silly ass celebration, and you're going to lose a player because of it. Sucks.
Well, you asked me last week, are they going to have a chain or something? I told you no. I didn't think Mario would go for it.
Good.
That's all gone, bro.
I wouldn't even let them run through the smoke until they earn it. That's what I would do. I would take out the smoke and hey, coach, what happened to smoke? Earn it. Show me that you can be champions, and the smoke will come back. The people that ran through the smoke, you know, their names were Warren Sapp. Their names were, you know, Walsh. Their names were, you know, guys that won it all here, guys that were big-time players here. So when you're Willis McGahee, you can run through the smoke. None of you have earned the right to be Willis McGahee, so you don't get to run through the smoke. I would even take the smoke away from their ass. That's what I would do.
I have no problem with it, especially if they make any stupid penalties or continue to celebrate, you know.
I'm just saying, yeah, dude, get back to being the Canes, and then you can have all the smoke you want because then they don't want your smoke.
Right.
And that's what I want to see. You know, I'd turn it on them. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, you guys ain't bringing that smoke. We're not giving it to you. That's what I would say. That's all.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. I'm glad they took away that stupid turnover chain. I hated that turnover. I became such a negative Nelly on that because when you have a turnover and you're losing and you're on the sideline celebrating some stupid turnover and you're down by 10, 20, 30 points, to me, it makes zero sense that you should be celebrating. You got a turnover, hand it to the referee, get your ass to the sidelines, and get back to trying to get the lead. Then celebrate.
Well, that was the problem with Manny Diaz in the sense that he'd never experienced what that winning was like. So you had to celebrate those small victories. He never knew what it was like to really win big. He didn't play the game. That's the experience of Mario Cristobal. That's
the beauty of it.
When you talk about a guy who has accomplished something, he knows the heights.
A real Cane.
He knows the real heights of what a program should be. That's why for years you and I said he was the guy for this job.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you nailed it years ago when you said you got to stop hiring the new coach. You got to hire the guy that's already been there and done it. And, you know, for a few years, that wasn't Mario until he got to Oregon, and then he got the job done. By the way, I think they missed Mario a little bit this weekend.
They kind of did, didn't they? Well, somebody asked me, they said, what does that say about the players he recruited? I'm like, did we forget that the transfer portal exists
lost
now?
guys too. Yeah.
Like, I mean, how many kids did they lose? And then you have a new coach come in, new system.
They fell off a 2,000-foot Oregon cliff right into the Pacific in that game. I mean, wow. They went back to being Oregon.
What I tell people in response is, do you remember when they went to Ohio State last year and won?
Yeah.
That was just last year. It wasn't like 5 years ago. So
Right. Yeah. No. They clearly were missing Mario and the staff and everything that came with it. Wow, they got their asses walloped in that one. All right, what are you working on in the athletics so folks can check you out?
Well, I mean, we just got a new podcast up recently, Wide Right, reviewing the game. We have a write-up from yesterday's interviews with the coaching staff. All that's available. I'm going to have an ACC mailbag later this week. I'm trying to do more ACC-centric stuff, not just Canes related, so you can get a good grasp of the conference. Because if Miami's going to win this thing, well, you got to know what you're up against, right? So a little bit more ACC coverage. And then Canes Barber. I'm going to be writing about my boy Steven Rivera, who has the shop inside of Dolphin Stadium.
I saw it
last month. Yeah,
sweet. Have you seen it? Have you?
Yeah, I've seen photos. I've seen the photos. I haven't been in there.
It's awesome. I mean, you walk in there and you think you're going to order popcorn because there's this big, beautiful counter on the left side with coffee machines and stuff, and you're like, well, okay, I like a popcorn, a hot dog before I go see the movie. Because I swear to God, I mean, that place is just. It is. Wow, what a facility, dude. Man, it's probably half as nice as Alabama's, but it's still impressive.
Good life for this kid. It's amazing how his life has changed, man. To go from cutting a couple guys' hair just for fun, now you're working for the Dolphins. So
I tell my daughter this all the time when she was growing up. I said, just find what you love and then do that with passion. And, I'm not saying you're going to get rich. You could get rich, whatever. But you'll be happy and you'll end up getting paid to do what you love. And that is the ultimate satisfaction, and ultimately, look, he was doing what he loves, and it got to a point now where he's probably also making a good life for himself too in the process. And God bless you, man. That's when you're doing what you love, it's never really a job every day. Like yesterday, I did 3 hours and 40 minutes on Labor Day. And I didn't have to. I don't have to do it. I run the whole damn platform. I can take it off if I felt like it, but I didn't because there's a lot going on. And what the hell? I love to do it.
We're very blessed people.
And
I. We get to do what we love. Dan Le Batard told me years ago when I worked with him at the Herald, he said, we're stealing money. And he's right. We are.
That's right. I ran a supermarket for a couple of years, brother, working like 100 hours a week, and I don't want a real job ever again.
Nope.
Okay. I am trying to. That's what I tell people all the time. This is 32-year streak of not having a real job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay with it. No matter how many hours I can work in a day or a week, or how many articles you write, we never feel like we're punching some clock. Never feel that. So
you work in the candy store of life. So
damn right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work at The Athletic. More importantly, subscribe to The Athletic so he can do what he loves. Manny, appreciate you, my man. We'll talk later on in the week.
Good talking to you. I'll talk to you soon.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro. Remember, Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com. You order over $99. Free shipping. That is Manny Navarro.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right, we're back. Cutter's Edge. Love Cutter's Edge. All right. What's it called? Alan Poopart will join us in hour number 3. He'll join us at 12:15. So we'll have a little fun. And we'll talk a little Dolphins with him. We'll get his season prediction also on the podcast here on the show, as always. And by the way, with the football season in, BetUS is the place you've got to go, folks. That's right. And when you talk about BetUS, 28th year now in action. So betus.com is something you can count on. It's got the industry's biggest sign-up bonus up to 200%. BetUS has all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, and MLB. And BetUS offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. And I love my props. I do it all the time on BetUS. And BetUS also has hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots with live dealers waiting for you at the table. So if you like that kind of stuff, I never really do the casino stuff, but I've got a buddy of mine that loves playing poker online. Anyway, BetUS is a sportsbook with integrity and longevity. You know, there's a lot of these fly-by-night companies. They come and go, so you don't know who to trust. With 28 years in, you know who to trust now, and you know where you're going to get paid. Go to betus.com. That's betus.com. Join now. Get 200% in bonuses with promo code BIG O. Nobody in the industry gets you better discounts than BetUS. Again, join now and mention our code BIG O, and you get up to 200%. Do it, baby. BetUS right there. Head to betus.com. Join today. That's BetUS, where the games begin. And you think about it, you use BetUS, plus we're 30, 19, and 2 against the spread. We're all doing well on BetUS. If you're following the bets that we've been placing over the last, what is it, like 2 months now, we've been on this roll now with a winning record. Let's see. Clement Duro says the U of the 80s was feared and hated, mostly feared. Nobody wanted to come to Miami and face the Canes. Yep. That is very true. Says I was against the turnover chain. I had the same thinking as you. I also feel that before the U can brag and boast about a turnover, be the U of the 80s minus the off-the-field problems. Exactly. Big O is the sound you make with your better half. That's right. That's the sound she makes. Oh, yeah. And you love that sound because then you know you did a good job. That's what it's all about, right? Anyway, what else do we have going on? What's going on in the markets right now? Let's see. Bitcoin barely down 0.16. It's just under 20,000, 19,996. Not bad. Ethereum, where is Ethereum? Ethereum is at almost 1,700. Okay. Not bad. What's doing well right now? Besides, Avalanche is doing well. It's up 6%. It's over $20. It was right around the $18 mark yesterday, 18.60, 70. Now it's gone over $20. I think it's a fake pump. All of this, I think, is a fake pump like the last time it happened. I just think we're going to be kind of floundering here a little bit more for a couple of more months. I know that people are talking about, the Ethereum upgrade that's coming up now, and then the Cardano upgrade coming on the 22nd of this month. So we've got two major upgrades with Ethereum and with Cardano. So I get that, but I don't believe these are triggers that are going to turn the crypto market or the stock market or anything around right now. I think we're still several months away from all of that. And if the feds are still going to raise rates again for the next couple trips here, then I just think it's Fed induced. They're going to kind of slow everything down to a crawl. So if there isn't extra money out there, they're not going to be buying more stocks. They're not going to be buying more crypto, and they're not going to be buying real estate. And they're not going to be treating themselves nearly as much as they do to whatever things that they use with discretionary income. So all the things that you do with discretionary income, invest, enjoy, whatever it is, they'll be less of that, I think, down the line if we see that the rates are also going to go up. I just have a hard time believing on these little pumps that happen that this is the one that's going to trigger the turnaround. I just don't see us there yet. Until China's completely moving forward, until Europe figures out what the hell they're doing with their problems going on, especially with the energy crisis that they've got going on, until the supply chain is straightened out where Americans and American companies can get everything that they need so they can build anything and everything that they need, and then gas prices continue to come down and so many other things that have to happen. I don't see anything skyrocketing or turning around or exploding or anything like that. So, little pumps that you see now, it's probably more manipulated by whales that are looking for short-term gains where they get Bitcoin at 19.5 and then they sell it at 20, 20 and a half, 20, 21. And to you and me, that's not a lot. But when you buy 10 million of it, you end up making a nice profit. And that's kind of the trick for those kind of people. For you and me that are hardworking blue-collar stiffs, we're investing, and I'm not a financial advisor, but we're not looking for the next month or 6 months. We're looking for the next 2, 4, 5 years. That's what we're looking for our gains down the line because we have to wait for it to significantly grow in order for us to really enjoy some serious profits. So just in case, I just want to keep reminding you that the environment is not out there for anything to explode. So if anybody's selling you that, listen, I hope it happens. I'm invested like a lot of you are, whether it's stocks or crypto or whatever. So I hope things get straightened out. I hope everything explodes, but I just don't see it yet. Just want to be fair. Alexander Rene Diaz, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, just sending out my support to UO. Question, I've been in and out of the space in YouTube. It's a shame that with these fans that Boyer McDaniel will not get credit for the D if they finish in the top 5. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. They're the ones doing it. They're here. Nobody else is. So I don't care. Alexander, for me, I could give a rat's ass about what somebody else may think that doesn't know jack crap about this. But if the defense plays at a high level, here's the way I'm going to look at it. Josh Boyer said he made the calls last year. If they play well at this year, then that justifies that he made the calls. So he's the one here. McDaniel's here. Chris Greer, Marvin Allen, Reggie McKenzie, they're here. These are the people that are going to get the credit from my show. Okay? On this platform, they're getting their deserved credit. So it has nothing to do with Flo. Zero. Alexander Rene Diaz, you're a stud. What's your take that, people will say that Flores' fingerprints? Well, I just, no, they're not all over. He didn't pick the players. The front office did. What he did was a good job of screwing up the relationship with Minka, and it forced them to have to go find Javon Holland. So, I'm not going with any of that. This is Chris Greer's team, not Brian Flores. And this is Mike McDaniel and Josh Boyer's opportunity now to, spread their wings and prove their worth. So if the offense succeeds, McDaniel gets the credit. If the defense succeeds, Josh Boyer gets the credit. And if the team succeeds, Chris Greer, Marvin Allen, and Reggie McKenzie will get the credit. That's the only way I'm looking at it. There's no other way to look at it for me. Let's see what else. Mob Rule says, that's why I watch this show. It's fair. Well, we try. We try. Retry. Hey, can I ask you guys, you know what an oxymoron is, right? It's kind of like the obvious. So, is this an oxymoron? I just want to run this story by you because I personally thought this was an oxymoron. It didn't make any sense to me. So apparently, the Knicks lost out on Donovan Mitchell. He ends up with Cleveland. So now the Knicks, apparently, according to Mark Berman, who wrote in the Post, that the Knicks missing out on Mitchell, and the Knicks could be now looking for the next disgruntled player who goes on the trading block. Oklahoma Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could be the next target. Now, that's an interesting phrase that you use. Disgruntled player. So how many Knick players aren't disgruntled? Because, you're trading them to there. You're drafting them. It's not like they gravitate to you. It's not like people really want to be in New York. So isn't it an oxymoron to say that you're aiming for a disgruntled player because once he becomes a Knick, he's also a disgruntled player? Nothing changes. So if you take a happy player from somewhere else, and when you do bring him to the Knicks, he's automatically disgruntled. He's playing for James Dolan. How much more disgruntled can you get? I found that hilarious. Riley can target disgruntled players because people come here and they're happy. As long as you're a worker. If you're a lazy piece of crap, you're not going to be happy in the Miami Heat organization because they work over there. They're unlike some of the Americans the last 4 years have been stealing money from the government and not working. No. You all, by the way, could never work for the Heat. But there you go. I mean, the Knicks are searching for a disgruntled player. Oh, this is the part that I missed in this whole story. See, if you're the Knicks and you're trying to trade for a disgruntled player, the player's already used to being disgruntled. So being on the Knicks is the norm. See, that's where I missed out on all of this. I looked at it as an oxymoron, but really it's just to kind of keep things going. Because the last thing you want to do is trade for a happy player because then he becomes disgruntled being in New York with the Knicks. So I get it now. It was my fault there. I was reading it the wrong way, thinking that it's kind of an oxymoron, but it's really not actually. Now that I'm thinking about this, I have missed the boat completely on this. The Knicks are actually doing a disgruntled player a favor. They're keeping them disgruntled by bringing them to New York. You play for James Dolan. You travel in smelly subways, crowded New York City, constantly over flooding because it's under, water practically. Disgruntled. It should be the New York disgruntled, not the Knicks, the disgruntled. Telling you. Alexander says, I'm glad the Knicks stayed pat. They wanted too much. They wanted RJ Barrett and an arm and a leg. Francisco says, Greer had an amazing 2021 draft, but man, did he drop the ball in 2020. We really could have had Herbert and Jonathan Taylor in the same team. I don't know. If Tua works out, you don't need Justin Herbert. I'm sorry. I must have missed it. What did Justin Herbert win? Wow. Okay. When he wins something, then, maybe you can brag about it. Big O, good morning. Football has Miami taking the 7th wild card slot over the Chargers. Well, I guess you haven't heard the show in the last 2 days. You got a lot of rewinding to do. All right, let's get to Alan Poopart, baby. Yes, sir. Let's get to our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poopart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
There we go. There we go. There it is. There it is. And he's gonna do the entire segment in French.
Pourquoi pas? Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, no, I know. No. Like 1% of the folks are going to understand it.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely classic. By the way, did you see any extra security out there at the facility or the stadium? Just wondering.
I did not.
No? Okay, because there's only one reason why Belichick is here this early. He's planting cameras and mics all over the damn place.
That's funny.
It's not about heat or any of that bullshit, okay? It's about cheating. It's about knowing that Tua is his kryptonite, that he's Tua's bitch, okay? 0-3, about to be 0-4. I mean, this is scary for Belichick. He's never been owned by a quarterback ever. He's never been owned by Tyreek Hill, who has more yards against any team but the Patriots there. 4 times, 400 yards.
It's funny you should mention that. I actually wrote about Tyreek Hill this morning, did a big takeout on him, including what he did against the Chiefs. And this is where, again, you have to get
with the Chiefs against the Patriots, you mean?
Correct. What Hale did with the Chiefs against the Patriots, you have to look deeper at just the numbers because yes, but here's the thing: the first 2 games, Hill absolutely destroyed them. It was 6-130, 3-1 touchdowns, 7-142, 3 touchdowns, and then the last 2 games, he still was effective. He had like 64 and 62 yards. So I don't know if Belichick adjusted. He had better personnel on defense those years, and mind you, they played 4 straight years and 17, 18, 19, and 20. They didn't play last year.
And they have lesser talent around him at wide receiver than they do here. So that's the thing. He didn't play with a Waddle, which really takes away a lot. And so I know you play with Kelsey, who's a monster, but at wide receiver, there wasn't another wide receiver opposite of him in Kansas City. Like Mecole Hardman's nice. They had like nice players, but not a Waddle. So I think that will help out a little bit to take some pressure off. I don't know
that's
how
a great equalizer. That in not having Kelsey, the equalizer is having you have Waddle. Hardman is in the same ballpark in terms of speed, but he's not the wide receiver Jalen Waddle is.
No, definitely not. And I think Cedric Wilson also is going to add an element to it. I really like the balance that they have on the Dolphin offense. If they can run, oh my God. But their balance on passing, I mean, Tua is going to have a field day. Really, he should have somebody open practically on every down. I don't know a team that's going to have that many corners to shut down that many guys, to be quite honest. Don't know.
No, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. obviously the prospects are very, very, very good, very encouraging, but you still got to get it done. It's not like, Dolphins are not going to throw for 400 yards every game.
No.
But they do have, and they have a lot of different options because, as you mentioned, it's not just Hill and Waddle. I like Trent Sherfield a lot. I mean, he impressed the hell out of me.
Me too.
Throughout training camp.
I'm with you.
Probably even more so than Cedric Wilson, who's a nice player.
It looked like Cedric was underused during training camp in the preseason. It was underwhelming, actually, how much they didn't use him. And I don't know if it was by choice or what. I have no idea. But it was kind of weird because Cedric was not as big a part of the offense that we saw.
No, but and we haven't even talked about Izukama yet. So they have an embarrassment of riches at wide receiver. Basically, what they have, and even to a higher degree, is the vision. Remember when they added all those wide receivers before last year, and then all of them got hurt. Yeah. And the idea was like, wow, look at the wide receiver core they put together, and it'll all plop. It just fell apart. And this time they did it again. They completely revamped it because Waddle's the only one left.
Right. Because they had a lot of injury-prone wide receivers. That was your problem, too, that you counted on way too many guys that have an injury history all on one team. I get it if you take a chance with one guy, but it can't be Devontae, and it can't be also Albert Wilson and Will Fuller. And there was one more, I think, that they had, but it was just too many guys that had Preston Williams. Too many guys that had an injury history that it just takes you completely out of whack. And all these guys, right, you're starting off with a completely different set of wide receivers. Speaking of injury, it looks like the Waddle thing really isn't that serious, right? So they were more precautionary, as it looked like, from what you saw yesterday on the field.
Well, the thing is, we see him for their first 3 periods. It was basically stretching and then working with their position group and catching passes from the quarterback. So, don't really know. I can tell you what Mike McDaniel told us. He was very, 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 very confident that he'd play in week 1. We'll obviously know more when the official injury report comes out tomorrow, and we'll see whether he's even limited or if he's full. If he's full, then it's a total non-issue. If he's limited, then you're like, okay, something's up.
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll find out a lot because tomorrow's the first injury report. So we'll finally get to find out the info there. When I look at this game, and you can never ever guess what this guy's going to do because he is so unpredictable. But I'm going to try to predict it. And I kind of get the feeling that they're going to try to run the hell out of the ball against the Dolphins, since it is what's considered a weakness of the defense, because it hasn't been proven that they are run stuffers overall. I think they're going to try to keep Tyreek Hill off the field as much as possible. And I almost feel like they're going to try to pull like that Buffalo game that he only threw 2 or 3 passes. I think he'll throw 10 or 15 or 20 of them, but he's only going to complete, I think, like 8 or 10 or 12 passes. I don't think they're going to ask him to pass a ton. I think they're going to try to run a ton. Do you agree on Sunday?
It makes the most sense. I mean, especially for all the talk that we've heard coming out of New England throughout the summer is the offense a complete mess. And what's the biggest mess over there is the pass protection. Like they don't know what the hell they're doing. Well, if they're running the ball 90% of the time, they don't need to know what they're doing in pass protection. That's number one. And you mentioned the run defense being a perceived weakness of the Dolphins. Truth is, we don't know. It's a brand new season. You go back to last year because they had pretty much the same personnel.
That's what I'm saying.
With the same scheme. And I'd say the run defense was spotty. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was bad. But the strength of that defense last year is not what it is at the start of the season, and that's the cornerback spot because you don't have Byron Jones. And not only that, Nick Needham, based on what I saw Monday and what we saw last week, he's somebody I would half expect is going to be listed as limited tomorrow in practice. So now you're down a lot of cornerbacks, and now you're looking at Keon Crossan, Noah Benogany, Kader Kahu, Elijah Campbell. So who's to say that, Belichick doesn't go, no, they're expecting us to run all the time because that seems to be what makes the most sense. But guess what? We'll cross them up and throw some shots down the field. that would surprise me, but certainly it can be a factor there because, again, and that's the strength of the New England offense is they're very good at running back, and they have, for the most part, a solid offensive line, even though the pass protection was a complete joke in the summer from everything you read.
All right. Alan Poopart joining us, of course, here like he does every week with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Don't forget to call the great people at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. And I'm not talking about a handyman. I'm talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. They do it all. You need to redo the roof. You need to add an addition. You need to add a second floor. You name it, major home remodeling, the folks at EJD Construction can do it. 305-433-4843. All right. Andrew Van Ginkel, AVG. What did you see from him? Because he was able to come back from practice. Is it realistic that he even plays this week?
I mean, he warmed up. He went in there when they did the position drills. Mind you, there was no contact, so it wasn't like he was taking shots or anything, but I think I saw online that depending on the nature of the appendectomy, there's one that's not very severe where they're talking about a 1 to 3 week recovery period. And we're talking about a professional athlete here. So is it out of the realm of possibility? No, I would definitely declare him out.
It just seems so odd, right? They took out your appendix and you're like 2 weeks later you're playing. And it's just like, damn, dude.
Well, he played against the Raiders, which was August 20th.
Right.
And then if you do next Sunday, that's 3 weeks from that point.
Okay. Yeah.
Depending on when the surgery took place, if it's that Monday, again, I don't know. We haven't asked McDaniel for an update on that. I'm guessing we'll ask him tomorrow, and I'm guessing he's going to say we'll have to wait and see.
Right.
That's how that goes.
Right, of course, because you talked to him before practice tomorrow.
Correct.
So he's not going to say anything until he sees a couple of days of practice. And then he still will tell you it's a game time decision on Friday when it's all said and done. Because
I missed the days. And if you remember this, the injury report used to list guys from the start of the week as out, doubtful, questionable, probable. And then they could update that status every day, but you had one of those reports every day. Now you don't have that classification until Friday, and then Wednesday and Thursday is strictly the practice status if they were full or limited.
Right.
We did not practice. I missed those days.
All right. The practice squad, they filled out the rest of their practice squad. Anything catch your eye from the practice squad that you like for Dolphin fans out there? What info do you have?
Well, the two guys who stand out are clearly, to me, Gustin and River Craycraft, who would be who, if they get called up, I would have zero reservation about their ability to get the job done. Caleb Barnes is the one who's intriguing just because of the speed, but in talking to folks in Carolina, I'm told as a cornerback and talking about technique, he's got a lot of speed. That's basically. Right. That's basically where it starts and where it ends. So very, very raw. But again, there's somebody, you have that kind of speed. It's always intriguing to see if you can make something happen. And then Freddie Swain from Seattle has punt return experience. Is that someplace they can go if eventually, especially if Waddle is less than 100%?
I don't want those guys returning.
We talked about this. I don't want any of them either. And don't be surprised if it's Cedric Wilson with Mostert or Igbenogany returning kickoffs. I think that's what I predicted to you last time we spoke.
You're old enough, but I told a story. There was one year where Shula couldn't find a great returner, and everybody was complaining about Scott Miller. And he was like, he basically told everybody, shut the F up, dude. The guy can catch the ball and make sure that there's no turnover. So if I can't find a great returner, I got to find somebody that can at least catch the ball so I can maintain the possession. And some people would shut up after that because they kind of got it. Like, okay, we get it, bro. Scott Miller isn't special, but he doesn't drop the ball. So that's what Shula needs so he could get the offense on the field. And so, that was Shula's thinking. I can't find the great returner. Let me get somebody that at least will maintain the possession and not drop it. And maybe that's where McDaniel is right now. He can't find the great returner, but at least I'm not going to find somebody that's going to F up the situation for me also.
No question. And then if you're either
You
late
remember that, by the way? You remember that?
Scott Miller,
You
yeah.
remember
No, and he was very sure-handed, and actually he was a very solid punt returner.
Yeah,
But I could see if you're down or it's late in the half or you need a spark, get Hill back there. That's fine for like one time, once in a blue moon, not on a regular basis.
Amen. Amen to that. All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. The prediction time. All right.
Later this week.
Come on.
I gotta have time to think.
So wait, I gotta ask it on the second go around here. All right.
Later this week, it'll be closer to the regular season.
This isn't really going to change much right now. From now till then,
it's going to give me time to actually think about it because I don't have a great feel for this team, to be honest with you. It didn't take a rocket scientist in 2020 to figure they would take a big jump and they could be competitive. Last year, to me, it was like I think they're going to take a step back, and they did. And this year, it's like I just don't know. I will tell you this:
in today's world, dude, I going to camp every day compared to where it was 15, 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, it's not even close, dude.
As far as what?
Like getting a feel for a team.
Oh, correct.
So they can be, can they run the ball? Can they stop the run? Will they be a good tackling team? You just you cannot get a feel for a team in today's training camps.
Correct.
No way, dude. There's just not enough.
No, I will tell you this. The one thing, and we're talking about predictions, like the game Sunday is like, it seems too obvious. Like, what do the odds makers know to make the line only 3 when the arrow?
It's just home field. Usually when you're
even. I'm saying only 3 based on what we've seen in the summer and the Dolphins, the arrow looks like it's going up. New England looks like it's going way down. How the hell is the point spread only 3? I mean, it's almost too obvious. You go Dolphins -3, but it's like,
new coach. There isn't that strong belief in Tua and a lot of people. They're not like us Tuanons that we believe in the kid and that we think he's going to be a terrific player this year now that he has a foundation. A lot of people still don't believe in Tua. People like Alan Poopart. It's like that.
That jerk with the Expos hat, that guy.
So that's the problem. I think that until those people cross that threshold, okay, yeah, McDaniel can coach. Oh, yeah, Tua can play the game. Yeah. I think then maybe Miami gets that respect. But right now, I think they're just getting the 3 points for being at home. That's it. That's it. Weird.
Yeah, but I did a story yesterday. Do you realize this is the first time the Dolphins have been favored against the Pit? Wow. Yeah. Like not even in the second meeting in 2020 when the Dolphins were 8-5 and New England was 6-7. Talk about a lack of respect.
Yeah, that's it, and that's exactly, you just nailed it right there.
Crazy.
There isn't that respect for the Dolphins. There used to be back in the Shula days. It was automatic, the respect, but it came with the track record. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, lack of respect goes with the track record.
It's what happens when you haven't made the playoffs since 2016.
Right. When you've made it twice in like 20 years or 3 times in 20 years. I mean, or 4 times maybe in 20 years, I think is
twice, dude. Twice. 2008, 2016. That's it.
16, 8, 1.
Well, that's 20 years. 20 years ago is 2002.
Well, that's 21, actually. Yeah,
twice.
That's right. Right. Yeah, it's twice. And 6 and 18.
That's depressing, actually.
Yeah. 16 and 8. Yeah, that's right. Those are the only 2. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, it sucks, man. But that's kind of the territory that you're in. Unfortunately, that's kind of what you've earned right now. So that's why I think Vegas doesn't have that respect for they got to earn it, man. They got to earn it. They got to earn it. You look at the O-line. What are your concerns going into this game? If I can't get your prediction, at least till the end of the week, give me your concerns with the O-line going, especially into a game like this, where this guy's going to F with people.
Oh, prediction for the game, the Dolphins. Yeah, I got the Dolphins winning this game. I thought you wanted a prediction for the season, which I'm not ready to make.
No, yeah, we'll get that later. But
okay.
But the offensive line. What are you concerned about? What do you like also?
No, here's the thing is I have a high level of confidence the Dolphins are going to be able to move the ball on Sunday because I highly trust Mike McDaniel and what I saw in training camp in the preseason with the naked boots, where he's got Tua rolling outside and he's got people crossing across the field open. I see that happening on a very, very frequent basis, not only Sunday, but throughout the season. So from that standpoint, I think the passing game is going to do well. I don't expect, though, that you're going to see the deep shot to Tyreek Hill like you saw first play of the game, because Belichick's not going to allow that. I think Belichick's going to have a safety who's going to be pretty close by, and then Tyreek Hill's going to get very familiar with his face. If I have a concern with the offensive line, is can they run block against New England? And New England was terrible against the run last year. So if we're going back to using last year as a gauge to a team's concern on defense, I think that's a concern for the Patriots, is can they stop the run? And then the Dolphins, can they establish a running game? We don't know. It was very encouraging what they did against the Eagles in the final game, but the Eagles had their B team ready to go on summer vacation. So, truth is, we don't know.
There's no way you can measure it nowadays. There's none.
So, and like everything else, until we see it, all we have is the hope and the optimism that, the running game is going to be productive.
All right. What are you working on over at alldolphins.com at Sports Illustrated? So folks can check it out. And by the way, Dolphins, you must bookmark alldolphins.com so you can get all of Alan's articles every single day. What do you got?
You absolutely must. I've already written two things twice. I mentioned the Tyreek Hill take, kind of making the point that he's already actually contributed a lot since arriving in a trade from an off the field leadership standpoint, and now we're going to start to see what he does on the field. I broke down the practice squad, including the new rules for 2022. I'm about to rank the season openers against the Patriots. I think we all know what number one is, but there are 8 others to rank from 9 to 1. What else do I got going? I'm planning to do a big takeout on the offense, and is this finally the year would actually produce this?
Yes. Finally, they will break out this year.
That'd be nice.
Yes, it would be nice. It would be entertaining. It'll be fun for you to write about it,
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Poopart NFL. Catch him twice a week doing his thing here with the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Alan, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you immensely.
Right back at you, bud. Talk to you later in the week.
You got it. There you go. EJDconstruction.com.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poopart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. Yes, sir. Oh, man. So did you guys see that Larsa Pippen is now going out with Michael Jordan's son? Larsa Pippen. I got to tell you, that is one piece of work, I guess. I mean, she's all right. Decent looking woman. The only thing I wonder about Larsa Pippen, to be quite honest, I mean, it's just one of those things. Larsa Pippen. Do you really want to go out with Larsa Pippen after everybody else has gone out with Larsa Pippen? So Michael Jordan kind of trashes Scotty in that 30 for 30, right? And so after that, in the 30 for 30, he then sends his son to go out with his ex-wife. This got to be like brutal for the kids, right? Huh? It's got to be brutal for the kids. Larsa Pippen. She, by the way, is 48 years old, and Marcus is 31. And for those of you that don't remember, Marcus was the one that played at UCF. And I want to say he had like a 50-point game once at UCF. He never really became a great basketball player or anything like that. You know, he wasn't able to make it. Obviously he's probably living off daddy's money at 31. He did graduate, I think, from hospitality. So I don't know if he's working. And of course, Larsa is one of those that has all kinds of hospitality for young men. Larsa Pippen, dude, going out with Jordan's son. It's got to be like Scotty's like, why did I marry this woman? I'm sure he's happy because he's got a couple kids from it and all that, but those kids have to deal with their mom, and Scotty has to live the embarrassment of his ex-wife banging half the world. They did, by the way, ask Larsa Pippen if she wanted to help out in New York City, because when they wanted to build that second tunnel, they thought they could use her. Enough space there, too. Big O, she's bad. Miami Kid J, do you mean bad like in bad meaning bad or bad meaning good? As I use a Run DMC line. I don't know what you mean by that. Is she bad like she's a badass girl? Like you're dying to have some of that? Or is she bad like that's some stank? I don't know. You got to tell me. Nick says, Lord. Ironclad prenup. She does look good for 48. Yeah, she does. She does. She's all right. It's just she kind of grosses me out because, it's like everybody's taking a shot. At this point, it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. So it just kind of gets to a point where, no matter how you look, like, there's a conga line that's been there. It's just, that's, and what she does to her sons. Like she has no scruples whatsoever. None. She doesn't care who she embarrasses. And she doesn't, and she does all of this all in public. Because she knows she's going to get, they know her. Obviously, she's been around. She's a tabloid and IG and all that kind of stuff, plus Scotty. So, and she's been around everywhere. So she's here working, doing some stuff, opening some stores up or something locally, I think in Aventura. And so in her off time, she's hanging out with Jordan's kid, and people are taking pictures. Here's the funny part. Those paparazzis that were following them, none of them knew who Jordan's kid was. They didn't, that's Marcus Jordan, Jordan's son. No, they knew it was Larsa with a young guy because she loves young guys. So they knew the cougar was out, and then they had to figure out who was she cougaring right now. And the latest is Jordan's son. Because nobody's going to know Marcus Jordan. Nobody will recognize Marcus Jordan anywhere except his mom. That's the hilarious part. Who's that young guy? Oh, that's Marcus Jordan. Oh, man. I tell you. Music-wise, on this date, just to give you a couple of interesting notes in September 6th in music history. And not that it was September 6th, but man, that whole Taylor, what's it called? Hawkins celebration in Los Angeles. That was one hell of a concert, dude. Back in 2010, Jane's Addiction announced that it had parted ways with bassist Duff McKagan, who had been working with the band for only 5 months. In 89 on this date, MTV Video Music Awards, Guns N' Roses took home the trophy for the best metal video for Sweet Child of Mine. In 2003, at a Limp Bizkit concert in London, singer Fred Durst claimed he regrets the days he spent banging that bitch, Britney Spears. Why would you regret that? Britney actually looks like she's fun in bed because you know what they say about the people that aren't all there, you know? You go with crazy people, you may have some crazy sex. 2002 on this date, the Doors, Ray Manzarek, rest in peace, Robbie Krieger, played their first gig as the Doors of the 21st century with drummer Stuart Copeland and singer Ian Astbury. That's the Cult. It's a hell of a mix there, I got to say. In 90, Tom Fogerty, who played guitar alongside his brother John in Creedence Clearwater Revival, passed away of AIDS. In 1970, on this date, Jimi Hendrix made his final live appearance. It took place at the Isle of Ferrum in Germany. And in 61, on this date, Bob Dylan debuted at the Gaslight Cafe in New York City. Well, yeah, I'm here to sing. Yeah. I know he's a hell of a lyricist, but his voice just, there's something about it that just, Miami Kid J, you love her, huh? She's hot. Sloppy 500s. That's what John Rouse in the house says. That's my problem. Sloppy 500s. Yeah, it's just. Oh, who's the greater rock band, the Stones or Zeppelin? I think that goes by taste. I think that's a subjective thing because they're both great in their own right. You know what I mean? They're both legendary in their own right. They're both influential in their own ways. So I think it's just one of those things. Me personally, I'm going to put Led Zeppelin in front of the Stones. That's just me. That doesn't mean that Led Zeppelin's better than the Stones. Doesn't mean the Stones are better than Led Zeppelin. It's subjective. They're both so amazing, so original, so important to the foundation of rock and roll that I can't diss one for the other. But if you ask me that I have to take one first and then the other, I'm going to put Led Zeppelin first. Love the Stones. I mean, seen the Stones several times in concert. Never saw Led Zeppelin. But, man, I love Led Zeppelin. God, their music is so amazing. So amazing. Love it. Carlos says, I would say Zeppelin, they are better musicians. Hard to argue that one. It really is. You're taking Bonzo over Watts. You're taking John Paul Jones. You're taking Robert Plant. And then maybe we can have a little fun with Page and Richards. Okay? There's that's the race that is close. The other ones are not. They're not even close. Singing is not close. Drumming is not close. And bassist is not close. The guitar is the only one. It's a very good point, Sagaro. Very good point. 3 of the 4 are like light years ahead. Yeah. Definitely. That would be the interesting one there. Is we could get into a discussion about the guitaring, a little bit. One of the things that people pick on with Jimmy Page is that it's kind of sloppy guitaring. When you listen to it, and maybe that's a sound he wanted out of it, but sometimes when he's picking, it's not clean. You'll hear it tripping up a little bit, but that's kind of the sound. So a lot of people looked at it like, well, Jimmy's not clean. Like when you hear Van Halen Flying Through the Frets, they're clean. You could hear Yngwie Malmsteen or watch him flying through the frets even faster than everybody else because he plays classical metal. It's clean. Every pick, every note is clean. The musician.
In regards of Jimmy Page, the thing with that is, from what I know, is he would lay a track down and he's like, that's the one. I'm not re-recording it. Where those other guys, as time went on, it was like, hey, we have to have the clean take every single time.
Right. Exactly. But there's, when and you hear it and you'll go, if you're a guitar player, you're like, yeah, it sounds great to everybody else, but damn, it's not clean. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. But that maybe was his style. That's the sound he wanted out of it. You know what I mean? And that's where, but you would agree with me, right? That we could argue and have some fun with Keith Richards and Jimmy Page. But you can't. There is no argument with the other three when we compare the musicians.
No question. And John Paul Jones, probably one of the most underrated musicians of all time. People don't realize he did all the organ work, all the key work for Zeppelin, and he wrote a lot of the songs. And then, I mean, personally,
you know his band now, right?
Yeah. You
Crooked Vultures.
Yeah. Stupid good.
Yeah. Really good band. If any of you have never heard of them Crooked Vultures, it's led by John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin, just in case, But anyway,
really to me, one of the most underrated musicians. Like, musicians know and rate him, but in regards of everyday fans,
Right. It's like John Entwistle. He gets a lot of respect, but he was so boring standing there for the Who. But if you watch him, oh man, those fingers were flying, baby. So good. So good, John Entwistle. So good. Anyway, good stuff, Chad. Appreciate you.
Yeah, anytime I'm here if you need.
Thank you. Chad plays. So, he's a musician, so he knows. He knows more than I do probably about the music side of it. Anyway, so yeah, I would go with that. So Sargaro, really, really good fact there on your part. Skinner would put a bunch of great guitarists and make it sound amazing. Leonard Skinner is also one of those bands. Gaines was an incredible guitarist. Okay. Ricky Medlock is just phenomenal. Obviously, he's got the history with Blackfoot too. I'm with you, man. When we talk about Skinner, is probably one of the most underrated rock bands, period, of all time. They are as great as it gets when it comes to singing, songwriting, musicians, top to bottom. They were loaded with stars on that band. Yes, I'm with you. It's just, I'm gonna be honest, like I normally am, dude. They look at him, they go, oh, a bunch of rednecks. Oh, Southern rock. And that's one of the things I hate as a Southern rock fan, a hardcore Southern rock fan. Southern rock gets shit on all the effing time, and it doesn't get the same respect as other genres of rock. And I don't know, maybe it's the look of the dudes, because it is what it is. But it's just one of those weird things that to give Southern rock bands the love that they deserve, they never will get it, ever. People, very few people know about Blackberry Smoke, a younger Southern rock band nowadays. Exceptional band. Go see them. Go watch them. They're awesome. Terrific band. But Southern rock gets crapped on all the time, dude. All the time. I know, because I've been around it since I was a kid. Been a Molly Hatchet and an Outlaws and a Leonard Skinner fan and Blackfoot and Rosington Collins and you name it, dude. And now, Blackberry Smoke and, bands like that nowadays. And it's just a genre that will never, ever get the love that it deserves. It's a shame. But it's just one of those things. Mob Rule says the mullets. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's just, it's just one of those things. You agree?
Marshall Tucker Band?
Yeah. Another one.
Yeah. Just,
yeah.
And then one of my favorite things.
In fact, I got on stage with Marshall Tucker, and they let me sing a song with them and everything at the Pompano Beach Amphitheater. So Doug Gray is a friend, and I've had him on the show. I've got his phone right, and I reach out to Doug Gray all the time. We go back and forth. I love Marshall Tucker, dude. I mean, but it's just one of those things. They don't get that kind of love, bro.
Definitely not. And what I love about Skinner, but a lot of people don't realize, represent Florida all day, every day, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Born and raised. Let's go. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Definitely. Yeah, we had a couple of Southern rock bands that came out of Florida, man. No doubt. No doubt. Wasn't Led Zeppelin accused of plagiarism? Yes. And it was they were found innocent of it. They were cleared of it. Some of you out there, you gotta read up and find the facts and all that, because then you live with that, Boss B, and you think about it. And here's the other thing I always mention to people that mention, that was a challenge on a song or two. Okay, they had 9 albums. Have you gone through their albums? Go play Houses of the Holy. Go play any album you want. Number 1, number 2, number 3, from beginning to end. That's the thing about Zepp albums. It's just one effing jam after another. Plagiarism my ass, dude. You can't be that good. You're that good, it's because you're just special, man. There isn't an okay album Coda. Okay. All right, I'll give you Coda. Because that was like I think that's the 10th album, but it was like stuff it was a compilation of stuff that was left over from prior albums. That was Coda. Okay, fine. I'll give you Coda. But if you go through every other album of Zepp, they're masterpieces, one after another. So the plagiarism stuff is garbage. So we're going to live off plagiarism, yet we have bands that made a living out of making songs over and over again. I love Van Halen. Love them. But from the first album on, they've got remakes all over, bro. And remakes that are big songs of theirs. That's part of their history. Do I take it away from them? No, they did a great job. What do you want me to do? Pretty Woman's not their song.
Best version of Pretty Woman. You beat me to.
Yeah, right. It's better than Roy Orbison's. And I love Roy. But I'd rather have that one for sure. But there's a whole bunch of them throughout their career. And so I'm supposed to hold that against them? Because they did Dancing in the Streets? No, I'm not going to hold it against them. So Led Zeppelin made so much great music that if they challenged 1 or 2 songs, which they were cleared from, it's like the other day, some guy obviously pushing his little politics, and he goes, "Hey, don't talk about the vaccine. Jason Jenkins probably died from taking the vaccine." Facts, man. So I sent him back a text. I say, "Hey, man, he suffered from thrombosis. You may want to leave the stupid ass politics aside and don't use politics to talk about my friend." Facts. Read up, folks. Inform yourselves. Because then Led Zeppelin sued for plagiarism. Yeah, no, they were cleared, dude. Read up. They were cleared.
And I think it has to do more with like they were covering those songs in a sense.
No. It was literally, it was like a band name like Taurus or something they literally said that they stole a portion of their song. Yeah. It was plagiarizing a song, not a remake. It was plagiarizing a song, but they were cleared of it. And again, it was a challenge of 1 or 2 songs over the last few years. They were cleared of it anyway. And Chad, listen to all 9 albums.
Oh, no, you don't have to convince me. I don't care bro.
Just kick on Led Zeppelin 2 from beginning to end, and there isn't a good song on it. They're all great.
No, I'm with you there also as well. To me, it's one of those things like even if they did, they probably made that song way better and got the
Yeah.
recognition it deserved, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just like a lot of other bands that once in a while they do a remake and all of a sudden it's pretty good. I
Yo.
love Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. It's a cool song. Go listen to the Interrupters version of Bad Guy. It's a better song in my eyes. Now, and that's a ska band doing that song. So when you hear it ska style, it just sounds absolutely awesome. The horns and everything actually make that Billie Eilish song even better. That's just me.
I'm with you with Holy Diver and Killswitch Engage. If you haven't heard that version,
Oh yeah,
you know,
right there you go. Yeah,
So
they did a good job with that. Yeah,
killed it.
Metallica did a good job with "Turn the Page" from Bob Seger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it happens. You can remake it. It was "Stairway to Heaven." There you go. It was "Stairway to Heaven," and there was another song too, but they were cleared from it. So, but to me, you have so many songs, so many albums that really you're going to worry about plagiarism with that band? Did you see all the music? And then Plant went on to make his own music, and then he went on to make more great music, Burning Down One Side and Big Log and Little by Little. And I mean, it's just on and on and on. Manic Nirvana was an excellent album. Ship of Fools, all that. I mean, give me a break. Now in Zen from Robert Plant is an excellent album. That is one of his solo albums. The rest of his stuff lately doesn't come close to his early solo stuff. His early solo stuff was special. It was really, really good. Big O, have you ever listened to Down? Are you talking about System of a Down? Or I don't know a band called Down. I've never heard of a band called Down. You know
Down
a band
is a
called
band.
Down?
Yep, it's a band.
Any good?
Yeah, I guess you can say it's a little more modern Southern rock type feel.
Okay.
Nothing like I feel like Clutch is like more
Now
of that, but no, Down's another band there as well.
I've never heard of them. I got to check them out. All right, I'll check out Down. But so they're in the Clutch mode, is what you're saying?
I want to say Clutch mode because they have like as any good band does, they have like their own sound, but like kind of how Clutch, I don't know, it's like a little Southern vibe type of feel. I mean, one that's not necessarily like that, but like they're from up north in New York, but to me they have like a Southern vibe, feeling like the hardcore scene. It's a band called Every Time I Die. Like when they do their breakdowns, it's like this Southern like ride, So
okay, I got you.
But they have their own sound. Same thing, So Down and Clutch, just Southern feel, different sounds.
I got you. All right. NorCal says 420. Puff listeners, puff give. Well, yeah, you could puff give. I mean, we don't really have the virus bouncing around too much. That's it. You can't get monkeypox, right, with that, right? So okay. I'm terrified that they're going to tell us monkeypox is airborne. And oh god. That stuff is
bring
ugly.
Your own. I would just recommend bring your own always. If
yeah,
you're good, right?
Throughout the entire pandemic, I've been telling NorCal there's no passing. Roll a personal. It's what you do. You don't pass, you roll a personal. That means it's all yours. That's it. Everybody in the car gets their own on the way to the show. That's all. No passing.
I always bring my own. No, that's my mantra. I just bring my own.
Well, there you go.
You know?
But you know how it is. Sharing is caring. And if you don't share, then you're greedy and all that. But, you got a reason not to share right now. There's still some COVID. There's maybe a little monkeypox out there. I don't know. I don't trust these bastards. I'm telling you.
I hear
They're going to tell us. They're going to tell us soon enough. Oh, no, we made a mistake. It's airborne.
No, but I'm with you, though. If I'm in the car, it's got to be people I'll probably be sharing with. You know what I mean? If I'm going to a show, you know what I mean? It would probably be people that I would be sharing with.
There you go. There you go. Sharing is caring, folks. Okay? Don't hog. Don't hog the log. The kid from Greta Van Fleet had Robert Plant's jeans. Yes. You're talking about Joshua. Okay, that is his name, Joshua. And yes, Joshua does have he has that Plant sound when he wants. If you listen to the new album, they purposely went away from some of that Zeppelin influence that they had in their music. You can tell that it got to them, that people were talking about it, which I find it ridiculous. I completely find it ridiculous that people, oh, well, they sound some like Zepp. Yeah, so did Whitesnake. Go listen to early Whitesnake. Go listen to early Coverdale, and he has a little of the Plant sound in him too. But Whitesnake grew into their own band. And when you listen to Greta's music, I don't care if you sound like somebody, can you make great music? So when Black Smoke Rising is playing or Highway Tune, those are effing great songs. I don't care what they're influenced by. It wasn't like Zeppelin wrote the song. No, those four young men wrote the song. So that's the part that people kind of get mixed up, that you sound like somebody. Great. That doesn't mean you can write good music. That's the difference. Greta Van Fleet writes great music. So if you listen to their music, it's really good music. That's what people, I think they get lost on when they get too far deep into, well, they have a lot of Zeppelin influence. Okay, so what? Lots of bands have other influences at times, and they sound like other bands, and sometimes they make songs that sound and are influenced by other bands. The Monkees were great. Didn't they have any Beatles influence in them? Okay, but you still want to hear Daydream Believer. You still want to hear, Last Train Out of Clarksville, right? They still sound like the Beatles, but they're still great in their own right. It's this thing that people, if you know the history of music, you're going to find elements from other artists in other artists and bands in other bands at times. And they're going to have moments where you're going to go, wow, dude, that sounds a lot like this, that, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. I think people get too crazy about it. NorCal says, Tool, my favorite band of all time. I literally can't fast forward any of their music. There you go. You still fast forward? Or you just forward? If the Dolphins don't get an elite quarterback after Tua, inevitably stink it up, they will go into it once again, another 50-year purgatory. Well, Philip, this is what I tell you, bro. Quit. Don't bother. Give up. If you're going to live your life like that already, you have Tua failing already, and then they're going to fail after that, then give up, dude. What the hell are you doing on the chat board? Why are you listening to sports? Why are you following the Dolphins? Why would you give a shit? You just want to spread your negativity? Just show us that you're just a sourpuss about the Dolphins? Is that what you're trying to do, Philip Sullivan? Because I'm not sure what that statement does. What does it do? Oh, does it put you in a position that if he fails, you can come out and say, I said it? But if he does succeed, nobody's going to remember what you said anyway. Nobody's going to go after you and say, you see, you said inevitably he's going to screw up, right? Well, there you go. I got you, Philip. I feel bad for you, my brother. I mean, it's over before it even started for you. There's the guy that tells you, you're getting married? Well, what if you get a divorce? There he is. Philip Sullivan, the buddy that brings you down. Yeah. You're going skydiving? Dude, what happens if it doesn't open up? You know you could die. Yeah, no, I'm going out on a plane. I'm going to go over to California. Well, what if the plane crashes? Well, thanks, Philip. Appreciate it, dude. You're going skiing? Oh, what about if you fall off the ski and break your neck or something? Philip is like your mom, Right? Oh, you just don't go in the pool now. Anthony Campbell says, Big O, I'm on a lunch break. Where's the first road watch party? Sports Grill? Nope, we're not at Sports Grill. We are still trying to finalize a home for the Canes broadcast and for the Dolphins broadcast. So we got Al working hard at trying to finalize all that stuff. Hey, skydiving is dangerous, LOL. Yes. The Far Side skydiver has an anvil as a chute, if you know. Oh, man. We love you, Philip Sullivan. Thank you for bringing us all down. We appreciate that immensely. Just want you to know that. Anyway, we got to wrap it up on the show. We thank Cameron Wolfe. We thank Manny Navarro. And, of course, the man, the myth, the legend that is Alan Poopart, always getting it done. We thank all of you out there, as always, even our man, Philip Sullivan. Philip, I know I might trip coming out of the studio, and who knows, hit my head, die right there. Right when I get off the air, I'm going to trip and fall, hit a wall, and break my neck or something. It could happen. You never know. You never know. Anyway, we thank the boys. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, who masters this program, and the C-Man, putting it all together and driving it. Thank you all out there. And, of course, all of you that tuned in, whether you're downloading the show day or night, thank you for downloading it. Remember, iTunes has been having issues. So if iTunes is not loading, try to go over to Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Amazon, because lately iTunes has been having trouble the last couple of days, but all the other services, SoundCloud, everybody else is picking it up. So you can go to the other one if you have missed any of the segments or interviews or anything like that, or best ofs, which didn't come through over the weekend. All of that is there for you. So make sure you go to some other platforms. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, for Inside the Paint. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.